Good evening and welcome to another edition of Wildcat Football. We're here in Jacksonville, Texas. Yes, that's still in Texas, close to Tyler, where the Wildcats will be taking on the Jacksonville Fighting Indians tonight. And we've made the drive down here to sit in the hot sun, facing into the sun tonight as the Wildcats get ready to take the field. I'm Chad Young. I'll be doing your color commentary tonight. We've got Matt Jansen on the camera, so you can watch it live streaming on YouTube. And we've got a new voice in the box tonight. John Mark Dempsey will be doing our play-by-play. Welcome, John Mark.
Chad, thank you very much. Excited to be with you on KSST tonight, and it's been great the last few weeks doing some other things with you. So, but this is the thing, of course, that we most look forward to, I think.
Yes, absolutely, and we look forward to another great season of Wildcat football. They did great last season. We've got 10 games. Hopefully this is the farthest we'll have to drive to. Our longest drive already, sponsored by J. Hodge Chevrolet, who provided that nice vehicle for us to get down here. Took, a couple hours to get down to Jacksonville.
It's a great Tahoe. Yeah, I enjoyed it very much.
Yes, but a very nice stadium, the Tomato Bowl, out here in Jacksonville, an older stadium, but it's been rebuilt. And we're over here on the visitor side, looking west into the sun right now. As the sun, we've got a little bit of cloud cover. The sun's trying to go down, but the temperature hasn't gone down yet. We're inside with a little air conditioning, so I'm enjoying that right now, John Mark. The temperature 97 degrees right now. No wind, so temperature very close to what it's like in Sulphur Springs right now, so you can just imagine. And a pretty good crowd so far, making the drive up from Sulphur Springs down here to Jacksonville, and they're still coming in. We've got 100 or so people on the visitor side already as the teams get ready to take the field. The Jacksonville team down here warming up, getting ready to come out of their big tunnel, and then haven't seen the Wildcats coming out of their locker room yet, but looks to be an exciting game. We heard your interview with Brandon Fairchild, John Mark. So what else do we have in store for us tonight for this face-off with the Jacksonville Indians?
Well, Brandon Faircloth is an interesting story, and of course came in last year and really turned things around. As you've already said, they went 7-3 in the regular season, then lost in the by-district, so a 7-4 season overall. A great career he had at Port Neches Groves, 101-52 over 13 years down in southeast Texas. But I was reading about him, another interesting thing about Coach Faircloth. He was an assistant before he went to Port Neches Groves at Austin Westlake, Highland Park, and Odessa Permian.
Those are kind of some strong programs, aren't they?
Big-time programs there, along with Port Neches Groves. So his pedigree is remarkable, and those are 4 great Texas high school football programs that he's been very closely associated with. So I don't think it's too big a surprise that he turned things around. And I don't know, he obviously has other assistant coaches and other people involved, but things did turn around in a big way last year.
Yes, and he had some great talent to work with, and some of those guys coming back this year. Of course, including our quarterback, Brady Driver, will be taking a lot of the snaps tonight in the quarterback position. I see Malachi Rowland as our running back. He had a good season last year, and and we'll be calling out some of those other names. The Wildcats are lining up over here. The Indians now taking the field. The Jacksonville Tribe is the flags that they are waving as they come onto the field, and then we'll have the Wildcats taking the field as well. I see a coach down there waving them on. They're ready to get this show on the road here, get things underway as your Sulphur Springs Wildcats take the field and are ready to take on the Jacksonville Indians.
Austin Cheney coming out with the Sulphur Springs flag, leading the team out.
Yeah, he almost got chased down by one of his own teammates there, trying to catch up with him on that flag. But Austin Cheney had a good season last year as well, and expect a lot of great things out of him this year. So it's just going to be a really good matchup. This is a nice field. They've got some artificial turf here in Jacksonville, and even though it's an older stadium, I think it was built in the 40s.
Built in 1940.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we've got either the prayer or they have the national anthem coming up. Here we go.
Please remove your hats as we honor America and those who protect our freedoms both at home and abroad. Please join the Jacksonville High School Fighting Indian Band as they play our national anthem.
Nice rendition of the national anthem there by the Jacksonville Band.
Chad, you were remarking on the Tomato Bowl, which indeed was built here in 1940. That was a WPA project, a Works Progress Administration project, and as with so many of those, they use stone.
Right.
And so they have stone walls, beautifully built masonry all the way around the stadium. And if anybody has a connection to Sam Houston State, if you remember the old Sam Houston Stadium, it looks a lot like it, but that's going back a long way. But they remodeled it in 2019, and so it is a very modern stadium. But the stone masonry all the way around certainly gives it that classic look. But it dates back to 1940, and they always refer to it as the historic Tomato Bowl.
Right. Well, and it's in a historic area of town, downtown Jacksonville. I guess downtown's not too far away. We've got Zach Thomas come out, one of our captains, along with let's see, number 21 and number 23 going to be the captains for the coin toss here for the Wildcats.
Bo Loggins and Damone Gocher will be the captains along with Zach Thomas tonight for Sulphur Springs.
Jermaine Taylor, number 10, Jaden Boyd, and number 71, Dakota Ruckle.
Was talking to one of the Wildcat trainers before the game, Taylor Rogers, and Taylor thought that the temperature on the field, now this was an hour or so ago, and when we drove in here, I noticed 107 reading on our car, on our excellent Tahoe. The
J. Hodge Chevrolet Tahoe,
that's right, as we drove in. And so it's cooled off a bit since then, which is thankfully so. But Taylor thought it might be 120 on the field at that time.
My goodness. And, well, it's already, you can feel the sun going down. You feel it's cooled off. The Wildcats have won the toss, too, and elected to defer, so they're going to take the south end of the field and be kicking off as the Jacksonville Indians will be fielding that ball from the north end and trying to make their way down the field. So should be the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff should be coming up just any moment. So
Wildcats on the road again next week at Mount Pleasant. And then at home September 8th against Hallsville, the Bobcats, for the first home game of the season. And, of course, we'll have all the broadcasts for you. Sulphur Springs really impressive in their 2 scrimmages. They, in 2 quarters, 2 timed quarters, beat Lindale 28-21, and they beat Wills Point 38-0.
Oh, goodness.
In 2 quarters at home last week. So 2 really impressive showings by the Wildcats in their scrimmages. Jacksonville lost to Bullard and also lost to Kaufman, but that is kind of an odd situation. I won't get into that right now, but really should have been a tie, and for all intents and purposes was a tie.
Number 20, Eric Rodriguez, is going to be our kicker for the Wildcats. He's got the ball placed, and he's about to kick it away. The J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff to start the game here against the Jacksonville Indians.
And Eric Rodriguez takes a short advance on the ball, a diagonal kick to the near side, taken at the 31-yard line, and returned across the 35 up to perhaps the 37-yard line. Ryan Walker on the return there for
number 12
for the Indians, the Jacksonville Indians. He is the tight end on the team, and also occasionally will take a direct snap in a goal line situation. So 1st and 10 for Jacksonville from the 37-yard line.
The Fighting Indians is what it says on the outside of the stadium there. That's just a little difficult to say every time we reference the Jacksonville Fighting Indians.
Well, Indians will do for me.
Yes, right. But and your Wildcats defense coming up on the ball. They're ready to play as the Jacksonville Indians will be 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line.
A lot of blue and gold here tonight. Both teams have blue and gold colors. And Jacksonville in royal blue jerseys, pants, and headgear. Here's the handoff to the big fella, Jaden Boyd, on first down. He goes 245 pounds off the right side, and it's across the 40 up to about the 41-yard line for a gain of 4 yards or thereabouts.
Right, and I'm going to list the entire defensive team as an assist on that tackle, John Mark. They were all got involved in that. It's second down for the Indians.
They get a gain of 5, second down and 5 for Jacksonville. Here's a toss. This goes to Jaden Boyd, going wide to the far side. He spins and is close to a first down at about the 48-yard line.
He's got it.
And they are moving the chains. So up to the 48 indeed it was. So a couple of pretty good gains there for Jacksonville. This big fella Jaden Boyd, 6 feet, 245-pounder. They go from the spread, and here's a reverse. Coming back to the near side and now cutting back to the original side of the field, and the Wildcats still are not going to let him get out.
The ball's out, and the Wildcats are on it.
Jermaine Taylor is the young man with the football there for Jacksonville.
Ball came out, the Wildcats jumped on it, but they had already blown the whistle, and the play is dead. It's going to be a loss for the Jacksonville Indians, and they're going to be second and about 14, it looks like. Maybe they're going to call it 13.
Sulphur Springs had that well defensed from the start. Brady McCown, the quarterback, with a high snap, hands it off, and another good job there by the Wildcats of defending that. It looked like Zach Thomas was in on that tackle. Tyron Glenn got the football for the Indians, and this is going to be 3rd and long as Jacksonville behind the chains here. 3rd and we'll make it 15.
Yeah, they dropped them for a loss on that one again.
Brady McCown back to throw. And passing incomplete to the near side, intended for Elijah Whitaker at the Sulphur Springs 45-yard line, but do we have a flag on the play? I heard a whistle, I thought.
Well, there's something down here, but that looks like a towel. They're changing out. Looks like they're sending in the punt team.
Punt unit coming on right now.
And there was number 34 for the Wildcats that put some pressure on their quarterback that really caused him to overthrow that.
It's Nathan Andrews.
Thank you.
Jesus Nunez is the punter for Jacksonville. Low snap. Big rush for Sulphur Springs. And the kick, not a particularly strong punt, as They will say it is dead at the, let's see where they finally do put the ball down. It's going to be at the 30.
They're right at the 30-yard line.
Okay, starts at the 29.
Yep.
So that particular punt goes 25 yards for Jesus Nunez. First down, Sulphur Springs at the 30. Wildcats moving from left to right. Sulphur Springs on offense for the first time in 23. Driver passing, and this is Sky Lewis, makes the catch on the near side in the flat. Lewis gets away from the first contact and is down the sideline, out of bounds at about the 36-yard line, it would appear. So that's a gain of 6 yards for Sulphur Springs.
Absolutely. So it's going to be 2nd and 4 for your Wildcats as they try to get up to the 40-yard line to move the chains. Already a great start to this game. Defense holding the Jacksonville Indians to a short series and then a punt, and now they've got the ball moving down the field.
Snap to Brady Driver. He fakes it to Roland. Pass downfield is caught and into Jacksonville territory. And this is Chris Adams who makes the catch for Sulphur Springs. That's a big game.
Yes, I'm going to have to do some math on this one, John Mark. Let's see. They were all the way to the 36, and they've crossed the 50. That's 14, and they're going to get all the way down to the 32-yard line.
It's 35-yard gain for Sulphur Springs.
Thank you for the slow counters, for the good math right there, John Mark. And they're coming up the line, and they're going to snap the ball and keep the Indians on their heels.
Quick tempo. Pass to Sky Lewis. Over on the far side, and Lewis.
He's calling for a first down.
He's saying first down, but I don't think so.
Yeah, but that's going to be about 7, maybe?
About 8 yards on that
8
game.
yards.
Yeah, he gets to the 26-yard line. We are, as Chad has already told you, we're on what's called the visitor side. We're looking at the home side. That means the chains are on our side, and that to me is a little bit difficult.
Oh, yeah, it's a little too close here.
It's more difficult to read. Yep. Here's a reverse going from left to right, now back right to left, and for the Wildcats, this is Tristan Hankins who gets the toss, and Hankins.
Looks like he got about 4 yards, and they're going to give him the first down on that. No, they've got the officials' hats off. He's waving his hands. They're having a discussion. Let's see what's going to go on here.
The linesman, who, by the way, is Herb Ashley, standing at the 21-yard line, which would be good enough for a first down.
Oh, but officials got the ball. He's going to mark it off against the Wildcats, so have some sort of penalty. It looks like a 10-yarder.
Now, again, another aspect of this when we are looking at the home stands is that the referee, who in this case is Richard King, will look at the home press box, and so we are looking at him from behind, and it's hard to pick up those signals sometimes.
Yep. So they back it up all the way to the 32-yard line, back kind of where they started, and so it's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats.
From the 32, Brady Driver in the shotgun, takes the snap, rolling out, he will keep it, tucks it, Driver inside the 20, and tucks that ball away, holds on to it, even though he's hit by 3 or 4 Indians, and he will have the first down at the Jacksonville 17-yard line.
Yes, almost 15-yard gain on that one. A great run by Brady Driver. Just spun out, didn't see anything that he could take there, and just no receivers were open. He just took to the open field and dodged a couple of tacklers and made a great play. It's 1st and 10 for your Hooten's Hardware, first down for your Sulphur Springs Wildcats.
And it was a 17-yard gain, Jed. Here's the handoff to a fake to Malachi Rowland, a pass over to the far side of the field to Sky Lewis once again.
It's a good fake, but didn't pick up much yardage there. Let's see. They're going to give him about 3 yards, maybe it looks like. 2 or 3.
I was not sure that he made the catch at all, so I'm debating whether it was incomplete or just a short gain.
Oh, I see. Well, the sun starting to set here in Jacksonville, so I can take my sunglasses off as we...
And another penalty here against Sulphur Springs.
Oh, goodness.
Pushes them back to the 25-yard line. And again, with the referee, Richard King, looking, facing the home side, I missed that call, but I think most likely a holding call against the Wildcats. So now first down and 16 situation, very unusual down in distance.
Right.
But the Wildcats behind the chains here, back at the 24-yard line. They need to reach thereabouts, the 10 or thereabouts. So man in motion, left to right for Sulphur Springs. A collision in the backfield. Oh my goodness.
And he gets sacked way in the backfield for the Wildcats.
This is a reverse to Sky Lewis. I think that was Malachi Rowland he collided with, the Wildcats halfback, tailback.
So they're going to mark him down all the way back here. It's going to be a loss of...
back to the 29. So I had it at the 25, so that's a loss of 4. That's bad enough. So long situation here. It is...
second and 20 that would make it probably.
Second down, it's hard to see that because of a pole, but second and 18, I think. It's more than that, though. Driver passing. Nobody there.
Kind of throws it away long over his receiver there. Brady Driver getting some pressure from the Jacksonville Indians, and it's going to be third and a mile now for your Wildcats as they suffer a couple of penalties and another loss of yardage on a collision between two players. So it's going to be quite a...
Scoreboard now corrects that to third and 20, which sounds as more...
That looks exactly right to me.
Yeah, that's about right.
I concur, John Mark.
Third and 20 for Sulphur Springs. From the 29-yard line in Jacksonville territory. Driver back and trying to go to Sky Lewis, who's been very active so far here in the first quarter. This is the first possession for the Wildcats, but pass just a little bit out of his reach. So it will be fourth down and 20 now for the Wildcats from the 29-yard line. I think without a doubt out of the field goal range of Eric Rodriguez. So Sulphur Springs going to try to pull a rabbit out of their hat here on this fourth down and 20 from the 29-yard line. They need to reach the 9 for the first down.
Too far to kick and a field goal and too short to punt. They're going to go for the long bomb into the end zone.
Sky Lewis, the intended receiver.
And double coverage there and a lot of pushing and shoving and grabbing going on, but no yellow flags are out on the field, so that's going to mean that the Wildcats will turn the ball over on downs to the Jacksonville Indians, and that will give the Indians possession at their own 29-yard line for their first down.
I thought for a second he might have made a play on that ball in the far corner of the end zone, but that would have been a near miracle.
Yeah, it kind of looked like to me that one of the defenders was holding his other arm, but they could have just got tangled up as they were both going for the ball. Either way, Jacksonville has the ball.
No score. Brady McCown, the quarterback. And McCown gives it off to Jaden Boyd, that big plow horse of a back that they have. And Boyd across the 35 up to the 37-yard line.
Right, so that's going to be an 8-yard gain there about.
Second and 2 for Jacksonville. Play action pass. McCown passing near side and basically no gain there.
Yeah, their receiver, the Jacksonville Indian receiver, number 12, some second effort there, but one of the Wildcats had him by the shoestrings and pulled him back, so no gain on that.
That's Ryan Walker on the catch, and I'm going to give Truth Holmes, sophomore for Sulphur Springs, credit for the tackle. Third down and about 1. And again, they give it to Jaden Boyd, big fella between the tackles, fighting for that line that he needs to reach, and I think he will have it as he's up to the 40-yard line.
He's going to pick up about 3 yards, so they're going to mark him right at the 40-yard line. Jacksonville Indians are back up to the line as they move the chains. They've got a new set of downs, first and 10 on their own 40.
No score in the game. We are about midway through the first quarter. Whistles.
Yep. Looks like one of the Indians moved. That's what the Wildcats are saying, so they're going to push push him back on that.
It's a false start.
Yep.
Your referee is Richard King, umpire Greg Gallion. Head linesman is Herb Ashley. Line judge is Ricky Goodwin. Field judge Jonathan Galt. Back judge Mark Busby. Here's the snap to McCown. McCown passing, and it is caught over on the far side. And this is Jermaine Taylor, who's a major Division I recruit.
Yes, great catch and some second effort there. He picked up just about 9 yards on the reception. Lost the ball as he went down, but it rolled out of bounds, unfortunately, for the Wildcats because they were right there to jump on it.
2nd down and 6 from the Jacksonville 49-yard line. Taylor being recruited by UTSA, Incarnate Word, and Tarleton. And here's the handoff straight ahead. This will give them the first down. And on the carry, this is Reese Hicks.
Yes.
Toting the ball for the first time tonight for Jacksonville. And he will have the first down at the 50-yard line. Actually, the Sulphur Springs 48-yard line.
Yep.
Give him the first down. Here's a quick pass to the near side, but incomplete. Intended there for Trevor Arrington. 2nd down and 10 for Jacksonville. Again, no score, 4:41 left to go first period. This is second possession for Jacksonville. Haven't really talked much about the quarterback, Brady McCown. We'll get a chance to do that, but he has an impressive lineage that we'll tell you all about. Play action pass, McCown throwing deep down the middle, collision at the 15-yard line, and I don't see a flag. Incomplete as guarded down there, Jermaine Taylor.
Yes,
guarded very closely by a couple of the Wildcats.
Right, he just ran over one of the Wildcats and tripped on, and they a couple of them went down, so that's going to be marked incomplete. It's going to be 3rd and long for the Indians after 2 incomplete passes. Brady McCown is going to have to get something moving here for his Indians.
Austin Cheney and Grayson Hardy were the 2 Wildcats back in coverage there. So here is 3rd down and 10 from the Sulphur Springs 48-yard line. McCown setting up a middle screen. It is caught, but the Wildcats all over that, and it's going nowhere. The tackle there by Ryan Walker for Sulphur Springs, and the catch was by Trevor Arrington for the Indians, and basically ruled no gain.
No gain or a loss of
I'd say a loss of a yard, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say 1.5 foot, John Mark, but
4th and long. There's still the down marker still showing basically the 49-yard line. So, but the ball is actually at the 50. So who knows?
And it looks like they're going for it right now. They really should be punting this ball. No, they're going to punt it.
Yeah,
they've got the punt team.
There's a young guy back there in punt formation. So on this 4th down and 10, this is Jesus Nunez with the punt, kind of a sidewinder, and it is taken at the 20-yard line and returned here for the Wildcats. Not very far on the Wildcat return there. Yeah, Wyatt Watson on the return there for Sulphur Springs. So Jacksonville moves the ball a bit. They went from their 29 to the Sulphur Springs 48. But the Wildcat defense's resolve stiffens at that point, and they force Jacksonville to punt.
Still talking about there was a false start on the Jacksonville Indians. Of course, that's going to be declined. They're going to move the chains down. The Wildcats are going to take the ball where they received it, and they're going to start their 1st and 10 about the at their own 23-yard line, it looks like. Let's see. And they're going to start 1st and 10 down there. It's going to be the second possession for your Wildcats. 3:37 left in this first quarter. Jacksonville Indian Tomato Bowl Stadium in Jacksonville, Texas.
26-yard punt by Jesus Nunez a moment ago. Here's Brady Driver handing off to Malachi Rowland for Sulphur Springs. Going right, cutting back left a little bit. Across the 25 up to about the 26-yard line goes Rowland for Sulphur Springs. That's a gain of 3. Rowland last year, 555 yards rushing, 5.1 yards per carry, and 3 touchdowns. He is a senior now. Second-team All-District player last year. 2nd down and 8 for the Wildcats. Moving from left to right, Sulphur Springs in their white road jerseys, royal blue pants, white headgear. Brady Driver has the snap, hit him in the head, picks it up, And then takes it out of bounds over on the far side. Just went right through his hands, Chad. And
hit him in the face mask or up on the helmet. He dropped it, bounced on the ground. He snatched it up, kept his wits about him, which is more than I could say I would be able to do. And he ran to the sideline, but now there's a little loss on the play. We're back to, it's going to be 3rd and 10 now, it looks like. Going to give up that yardage that we got on the Malachi Rowland run, and it's going to be 3rd and 10 for your Wildcats.
From the 23-yard line in Sulphur Springs territory, Wildcats operating out of the spread. Brady Driver clapping his hands for the ball. Back pedals, passes, and incomplete, intended for a Wildcat receiver coming in from left to right, and that was Wyatt Watson.
Yes, something happened there, kind of a broken play. The Wildcats are going to bring out the punt team and have to punt this ball away, so they're going to be 3 and out on this series. So not what the Wildcats wanted on their second series of the game, but it's scoreless here at Jacksonville Indian Stadium. It's 0-0 with 2:13 left in the first quarter.
Brady Driver, the Wildcat quarterback, will punt. Deep snapper is Nathan Andrews. Gets the punt away. And taken at the 40-yard line for Jacksonville by Reese Hicks. And Hicks with a nice return into Sulphur Springs territory to the 45-yard line. That's a return of 15 yards.
Yes, he fielded that. A good long punt by Brady Driver over the 50 into Jacksonville territory as it hit on the Jacksonville 40-yard line. But the good run back for the Indians as they're going to cross the 50 and get into Wildcat territory. They're going to start their third series 1st and 10 from the Wildcat 45. We're still scoreless and 2:02 left in this first quarter.
37-yard punt by Brady Driver. So both defenses have had the better of it here in the first quarter. Kind of surprising. I thought we might see more offense early on. Sulphur Springs Wildcats.
A good crowd making it to this game. We've got probably 250, 300 fans here from Sulphur Springs that made the drive all the way to Jacksonville, and they're going to mark that at the 40-yard line. His forward progress that he ran. So either he dropped the ball or his knee touched or something. We missed that. We'll have to roll the tape back later on and see what happened there. But this is good news for the Wildcats as the Jacksonville Indians are pushed back onto their back into their territory and will start where they fielded that ball at their own 40-yard line.
I think that may have been a personal foul penalty against Jacksonville. And again, I hate to make excuses, but as the official faces the home stands and we look at his back, it's hard to pick up those signals. But I believe that may have been a personal foul against Jacksonville, pushes them back to their own 40-yard line. As Chad told you, no score. Late in the first quarter now. Brady McCown passing over the middle. That's Jermaine Taylor that makes the catch, slanting in from right to left. Taylor, the D1 prospect for Jacksonville, makes the catch in Sulphur Springs territory at the 35.
You can see why he's a D1 prospect because that, 25 yards.
McCown giving it off to the big fella Jaden Boyd, and Boyd runs into 3 or 4 or 5 Sulphur Springs Wildcats, and leading the charge that time for Sulphur Springs, Nathan Andrews, down lineman, and also T.J. Bolden, a linebacker, was in on that tackle for Sulphur Springs.
So lost of, we'll call it 2 yards on that one.
Second down and 11 for Jacksonville. McCown throwing to the near side, passing, and it is complete. And a short gain there. Is that Jaden Boyd that made the catch? No, that's Elijah Whitaker who makes the catch. And the tackle for Sulphur Springs, I have that as Grayson Hardy. No, I'm telling you, that's Austin Chaney to make the tackle for Sulphur Springs on that particular play.
Gotcha.
So here is 3rd down and 6. From the Sulphur Springs 32-yard line, pass to the far side.
Number 19, I believe.
It is caught by Trevor Arrington. Or incomplete, says our public address announcer.
Oh, okay, so we'll take
I thought he had caught it. From my point of view, it looked like he had caught it.
It's going to make it 4th and 6 for the Indians. 39 seconds left in this first quarter. They're going to discuss it, and looks like they're going to go for it.
4th and 6 from the Sulphur Springs 33-yard line. McCown in the pocket, throw it to the far side, and too long for the intended receiver over there, and that is Jermaine Taylor. Once again, very close coverage for Sulphur Springs by Malachi Clayton.
Yes, not a really good pass, but good coverage as well by the Wildcats. That's going to turn the ball over on downs with 33 seconds left in this first quarter. Scoreless, 0-0. The Wildcats are going to take the ball about the 30-yard line, it looks like, and they're going to have 1st and 10 from their own 30 with 70 yards to go here. Wildcats will try to make something happen before they have to change ends of the field at the end of this quarter. 33 more seconds.
Brady Driver passing, incomplete. Intended here on the near side for Chris Adams, but too tall for Adams, and so it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the Wildcat 30-yard line. By the way, Brady McCown for Jacksonville, he is the son of Randy McCown, former Texas A&M quarterback, and the nephew of Josh McCown, who's now the quarterback coach at the Carolina Panthers, and also the nephew of Luke McCown, who had a 12-year career in the NFL with various NFL teams. So he has quite a pedigree there, and his older brother was the starting quarterback here last year. Man in motion on 2nd down and 10. Driver back, throwing deep. He's got Sky Lewis out there, but he overthrows him at the 30-yard line. Sky Lewis had a step on his man, and Brady Driver too much arm on that particular pass.
He would have taken that one to the house if he could have connected on that one, because it was a great pass, a long bomb down the field, and he was wide open but just overthrown. So. Or it could have been underrun. May have been underrun, but it was possibly overthrown.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, now 3rd down, 3rd and 10 for your Wildcats, 23 seconds left.
From the 30-yard line, Driver in the pocket, throwing, and incomplete. Although the Indians, for a moment, acted as if they might have an interception. The intended receiver for Sulphur Springs, Tristan Hankins.
And this is going to be 3 and out for your Wildcats. They're going to punt again, and so Brady Driver will stay in and drop back to punt from his own 30-yard line. So I think it was about a 37-yard punt last time.
That's right.
The punt returner for the Indians on his own 40-yard line, so they're kind of set back, ready to receive that. 16 seconds left in this first quarter.
Driver gets the snap, and this is a very low kick and somewhat off the side of his foot. Let's see where they say it went out of bounds. I've never understood how referees and officials determine that, but apparently they're going to say it went out at the Jacksonville 48-yard line.
Yes, so not good news for your Wildcats, as the Indians will be starting from their own 48 right at midfield. 9 seconds left in this first quarter, so they'll probably get 1 or 2 plays off before they switch around. Won't have far to go. Hopefully they'll stay right here at midfield and then head the other way.
It's a 22-yard punt by Brady Driver for Sulphur Springs, and he just didn't hit that one quite right. From the Tomato Bowl in Jacksonville, 9 seconds left to go in the first quarter. No score between the Wildcats and the Indians here. Brady McCown in the shotgun, takes the snap, pass to the far side, and it is caught.
Number 18 for the Indians on the reception, number 11 for the Wildcats on the tackle.
Andrew Dials made the catch for Jacksonville, and the tackle by Ty Bybee for the Wildcats.
About 4-yard gain.
Flag down, so 2nd down and 6. Line of scrimmage is the Sulphur Springs 48-yard line. You hear the buzzer indicating that the end of the first quarter has come, but there was a flag down, and the flag was dropped just as the ball was being snapped.
We'll see what how they're going to call that. The guy with the sticks is not moving yet until he gets word from the officials.
All eyes on Richard King right now, the referee, who's not in a hurry to make the call here because the quarter has come to an end. No score, Sulphur Springs and Jacksonville. Wildcats won this game last year 21-6 at Gerald Prem Stadium.
They're marking off some kind of penalty, placing the ball on the 45-yard line on the Wildcat side, and then they're going to switch into the field here, putting it on the 45 at the other side of the 50, but still in Wildcat territory as they're kind of talking
well, Chad,
about
we're burning daylight here. Do you want to take a break, or should we just...
Yeah, it's going to take a second for them. We're going to take a little break here while they try to figure out where to spot the ball. We'll be back after these messages. They're about to snap the ball. They're ready to go. And we're back in Jacksonville. The Wildcats have switched into the field with the Indians as the first quarter has expired. And the Jacksonville Indians will take the ball at the Wildcat 44-yard line.
McCown handing off on this play up the middle. And short yardage there for Reese Hicks. And Hicks was a transfer from Frankston coming in here to play at Jacksonville. He picks up about 3 yards.
Now they're going to...
And now at the 43-yard line, here's some coaches across the way kind of disputing as to either the positioning of the ball or the down here.
Right. And they're having an official timeout to talk about it.
No score here in the game at the start of the second quarter.
Yeah, 11:26, just a few seconds ticked off the clock here for the second quarter.
We were talking about a penalty as we went to the break at the end of the first quarter. Sulphur Springs was penalized 5 yards for offsides on that play, which gave Jacksonville the ball at the 45-yard line as we came back to play. And now we've had one play since then, which was a short gain, about 3 yards, that went to Reese Hicks.
We're going to take a really quick break and be back with you as they discuss among the officials. And we're back at the Tomato Bowl here in Jacksonville, Texas. I'm not sure what the discussion is down there, but I think it's the spotting of the ball. They having a little difficulty getting this at second down. They changed ends to the field. They ran a play. It's still second down. I thought it was second down when they changed ends of the field, but the stick showing about 2nd and 9.5 there. Ball spotted around the 43, 42-yard line on the Wildcat side. Now, one official is going over to explain it to the Indian coach as they were having a discussion here on the Wildcat side. And so, obviously at this distance, I can't read lips, but it looks like there's no official on the ball about to move the ball, so they're going to resume play here. Looks like it's going to be second down.
No, they just changed the down to first down.
Oh, there we go.
So
I don't know how that happened.
That was the dispute. So apparently that short gain
That just cannot. We'll have to run the tape back on that. I don't think that.
So what they're showing here now is 1st and 10 from the Sulphur Springs 43-yard line. Pass on a slant in from left to right is complete inside the 30.
Yes, he caught it and got hard hit by a Wildcat, and that Jacksonville Indian player is going to take his time getting up. We're going to have an injury timeout on this, I believe. John Mark, we're going to take a break and take care of a little business and listen to some spots from some of our play-by-play sponsors here on Wildcat Football on KSST. And welcome back to the Fightin' Indian Stadium here at Jacksonville, Texas, as number 22 was the player down and walking off the field under his own power. That's on the Jacksonville Indian side. He was the one made a pretty good reception and got him a first down, and so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Indians at the Wildcat 30. So it looks like the 27-yard line.
I've got it at the 28. It was a 15-yard gain to Brendan Richards, and Richards walked off on his own power. On this 1st down and 10, they give it to the big fella Jaden Boyd, and basically runs into a brick wall of Sulphur Springs Wildcats. Nowhere to go, and it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 28. Brady McCown, the quarterback, has Boyd a step to his right, fakes to Boyd, passing down the far side, and close to the goal line.
That's going to be a touchdown.
And that is a touchdown for Jacksonville, and that's Jermaine Taylor, their outstanding wide receiver and linebacker, who makes an over-the-shoulder catch. And Jacksonville takes the lead 6-0 over the Wildcats.
Two Wildcats were in kind of close position there, number 2 and number 3. One went up trying to intercept the ball and couldn't come up with it. But the Jacksonville Indians did come down with the ball, and they put 6 points on the board to go up ahead of your Wildcats 6-0 as we await the extra point try. 10:34 left in this second quarter at Jacksonville Stadium.
28-yard touchdown pass from Brady McCown to Jermaine Taylor. And here is a low snap, or a mishandled snap at any rate, and they are not going to get the extra point here.
It's blocked by the Wildcats, and there's a scramble for the ball, and it's eventually going to be blown dead there. And that's going to be a no extra point for the Jacksonville Indians, as they were going to stay at 6 points on the board, 0 for the Wildcats. We're going to take a quick break as they get the kickoff team ready, and we'll be back with Wildcat football on KSST in just a moment. And we're back in Jacksonville, Texas. Wildcats down 6-0 against the Indians right now. About to come out and receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff from the Indians. So see who we got back to receive here. We've got 10 minutes, 34 seconds left in the first half. Got that's 17. And I've got number 7, it looks like, back receiving for the Wildcats.
Tristan Hankins is at the goal line. Jackson Hare would be the other one of the two that you just named.
And then I've got number 6 up here a little closer.
Yeah, that will be that's Sky Lewis.
Yeah, and so
that drive for Jacksonville, that's a 55-yard drive in 4 plays. And the 28-yard touchdown pass from Brady McCown to Jermaine Taylor, who we told you before is being recruited by UTSA, UT San Antonio, Incarnate Word, which is also in San Antonio, and also Tarleton State in Stephenville. But I understand he's being mainly recruited as a linebacker rather than a receiver.
Goodness.
Yeah. Jesus Nunez who did not have the attempt or did not have the opportunity to attempt the extra point, will kick off because the extra point snap was low. And here's a short kick over to the far side and fair catch.
Yes, the Wildcats opted for the fair catch on that. Number 9 for the Wildcats fielded that, and it's going to be marked at about the 27-yard line in Wildcat territory as the Wildcats will come out for their first and 10 of the second quarter, and hopefully they can get something moving, put some points on the board against these Jacksonville Fighting Indians.
It's Wyatt Watson who had the fair catch there for Sulphur Springs. So 6-0 Jacksonville with 10:34 left to go in the second period. This opening night of the 2023 high school football season. Brady Driver handing off on first down to Malachi Rowland. No, sorry, that is not Malachi Rowland, but in this particular case, on this particular carry, that's Cameron Jefferson on the carry, a senior for the Wildcats, who gets up to the 30-yard line. That is a gain of 3 yards, so 2nd down and 7.
Well, they're going to mark him a little further down.
They did
there.
give him. They sure did. Gave him to 32. Yeah, so that's 5 yards.
2nd and 5. So
5-yard gain there.
Wildcats can make some hay right here.
Cameron Jefferson with the 5-yard gain. And Driver passing to the near side, and this is caught by Jackson Hare. Spins out of a tackle. Jackson Hare down the sideline. 20, 10, and is bumped out of bounds somewhere inside the 20-yard line. Jackson Hare on the catch and run.
A fantastic run by Jackson Hare, and he looked like he was going to outpace him there for a second, but one of the defenders got a hand on him and pushed him out of bounds as he runs all the way down to the 25-yard line. They're going to spot that. Oh, they're within the 25. They're going to mark that about the 22.
I've got it the
17-yard line. So what a great run. That's a great field position for your Wildcats as they're coming up to the line for the Hootens Hardware first down with 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line.
49 yards on the game. Brady Driver, play action pass. Passing into the end zone.
Jump ball.
Touchdown.
Yes.
Sky Lewis, touchdown for Sulphur Springs.
That was a jump ball, a fight over it, and he came down with it. And Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go Wildcats, as they immediately put 6 points on the board with 9:36 left in this first half as we await the extra point try by the Wildcats. They could go ahead right here, John Mark.
Score tied 6-6. Sulphur Springs striking like lightning on 2 consecutive plays there. One to Jackson Hare, and then the next one to Sky Lewis for the touchdown. That's 17 yards on the pass. And the extra point now is good. And this is, of course, the place kicker, Eric Rodriguez, Sulphur Springs Wildcats.
And so the Wildcats go ahead. 9:36 left in the first half of this exciting ball game. All of a sudden, the Wildcats are up 7-6. We'll take a quick break and be back with the kickoff in just a moment. And we're back at Fighting Indian Stadium, the Tomato Bowl here in Jacksonville, Texas, where this game has all of a sudden turned around in just a couple of plays. Wildcats have gotten on the board and gone ahead 7-6 with 9:36 left in this first half. And you could just feel, of course, we're inside. We're not out there like the players sweating in the heat out there, but it's been still 94 degrees outside, and but it's a lot cooler here inside. Our air conditioned.
It's almost too cold now.
Oh, don't even say it out loud.
That's blasphemy to say that.
No, you can't say that. So Eric Rodriguez setting the ball up here to kick off our J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff with the going right to left here on your radio dial. They'll be moving on the from right to left, and the Jacksonville Indians set back to and the ball. Oh, there's been a penalty. And we're going to move it on up past the 50, all the way to the 45 in Indian territory to kick off. This is going to make for a very deep kick possibility for Eric Rodriguez. Again, another penalty, I'm guessing, a personal foul or some kind of big 15-yard penalty because they moved that ball 15 yards. And And so now Eric Rodriguez has got a very short field to kick to for the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff.
So the question might be, would you think about an onside kick, but they do not. He's going to kick it deep into the end zone. They'll take the touchback.
Yep, so the Indians not even trying to field that. They're going to try to get back up with the touchback and get started for them and try to make something out of this on their next possession. 9:36 left in this second quarter of the first half of the ball game. Wildcats up 7-6. So time for the defense of the Wildcats to turn it on.
Chad, that was a 73-yard drive in 3 plays for Sulphur Springs. The big play on the drive was that 49-yard pass and run by Jackson Hare, taking it down to the 17-yard line, and then the pass from Brady Driver to Sky Lewis over the middle, a slant in to Lewis for the touchdown.
Oh, I know. It's just some beautiful plays. Here comes the Indians from their own 25.
And here's a toss to Reese Hicks, going wide to the left side, and picks up a substantial gain there for Sulphur Springs.
About 9 yards. I don't think he quite got the 10th yard he needed for that first down. So they're going to give him 8 actually on the carry. On
the gain, of course, for Jacksonville there. Here is McCown moving in the backfield, trying to find a receiver, but not finding one. He will be sacked over on the far side.
Losing about 2 yards, maybe 3.
Nathan Andrews was around that tackle. I'm hesitant to give him credit for that sack, but he was certainly in on it. So here's third down, and make it 5 for the Indians from about the 30-yard line. Again, a little bit hard to gauge the ball position exactly from our position here on the visitor side. But 3rd and 5, and need to reach the 35-yard line. So, yeah, the line of scrimmage will be the 30, and play is stopped here for a moment for whatever reason. Of course, first night.
I think this is going to be a timeout called by the Indians, so we're going to take a timeout with them, and we'll be back to Jacksonville Indian Stadium, the Tomato Bowl, on KSST here in just a moment. And we're back to the Tomato Bowl down here at Jacksonville. John Mark, we've had an exciting first couple of quarters here. Still 8:37 left in this second quarter. Wildcats up 7-6 over the Indians. So it was looking a little tough there as the Indians marched down the field and got on the board first, but then either a botched snap or a block kick because they couldn't come up with the extra point, and Wildcats held them for 6, and then came right back a few plays later, got down to the field and a couple of big pass plays and put 7 points on the board to go ahead.
And so now a 3rd down and 5 here for Jacksonville, and Brady McCown with a inside screen there, or a middle screen, and it should be enough for the first down here for Jacksonville.
Yes, big gain there, a good pass.
That's right. Jermaine Taylor made the catch on that screen.
They're going quickly. It's going to be 1st and 10 from their side of the field, about the 42.
16 yards on the game from the 46-yard line. This is first down for Jacksonville.
Right, 46.
And that's Reese Hicks on the carry here this time up to the Sulphur Springs 48-yard line.
Yep, a gain of about 6 there.
2nd down and 4.
That's going to give them enough for a first down.
They keep it on the ground here.
Yeah, and they're going with a very quick pace, trying to keep the Wildcats on their heels here. They're getting up to the line of scrimmage very quickly before they can even move the chains. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Indians at the Wildcat 41-yard line.
That was Jaden Boyd on the carry for Jacksonville. First down from the 41-yard line. Brady McCown back, flag down on the play. Boyd makes the catch. Big fella, 6 feet, 245-pounder. Gets to the Sulphur Springs 35-yard line, but remember, there's a flag down.
We'll see how this goes.
48, Dalen Portman. In on the tackle, there's a marker on the field.
This was the first down play.
slowing down the pace for the Indians. He's going, here's the referee going to the other side. He's waving off the flag.
Yeah, it says
not good news for the Wildcats, or it could be in case it was originally against the Wildcats. So that's going to make it second and about 4 or 5 yards there for the Indians.
I would call it 2nd and 4 from the Sulphur Springs 35-yard line here.
Yep.
Brady McCown in the shotgun, high snap. Still able to get the handoff into the hands there of Reese.
And he runs into a wall of Wildcat white jerseys and really maybe gained a yard or two, but not enough for the first down. It's going to be 3rd and short for the Indians.
It's Dede Maris rather than Reese on the carry for Jacksonville. Here's 3rd down and about 2 for the Indians. Sulphur Springs leading 7-6. 7 minutes left to go in the second period. They have Ryan Walker, a tight end, lined up as an H-back behind the right tackle. Snap is to McCown. Passing to the far side and dropped.
Yeah, he didn't have possession of that. He had a hand on it and turned and dropped the ball, so that's going to be an incomplete pass. It's going to be decision time for these Indians as they're down 7-6, 6:44 left in this first half. It's 4th and short, and they're on the Wildcat, what is that, the 32-yard line?
Yes, at the 32, 4th and 2. Who's Andrew Dials.
Go for it. They've got a very tight formation.
Direct snap goes to Jaden Boyd, and Boyd has the first down.
And then some.
Inside the 30-yard line, close to the 25-yard line. Big Jaden Boyd. Again, we've told you 6 feet, 245 pounds. Not tremendous speed, but he is a load.
They're keeping it on the ground there and getting 5 or 6 yards out of that. They're going to move those chains on up, get another set of downs. It's going to be first down for the Indians. About the 26-yard line on the Wildcat side.
This is the best sustained drive of the night, really, for either team. This is the 10th play of the drive, started at their own 25-yard line after the touchback on the Sulphur Springs kickoff, following the Wildcats' touchdown.
Right.
Brady McCown in the shotgun, hands off, and this is Maris again up the middle. We haven't heard much from him until now, but he's all the way to the 10-yard line.
A big gain, and they're going to be either 1st and 10 at the 10 or maybe a little bit short.
15 yards on the gain. High snap again to McCown, and he is passing to Jermaine Taylor, but too high. Trying to go to Jermaine Taylor on a wide receiver screen, little bubble screen to the near side, but the pass was rushed. Probably it was rushed because the Wildcats were getting pressure on it.
Marked at about the 11-yard line there of the Wildcats, and it's going to be 2nd and 10 on the 11. They're trying to go with that quick pace, get up there and snap the ball real quick, and the screen pass didn't work out for them. Now it's 2nd down.
12th play of the drive. Sulphur Springs leading 7-6. Play action pass, pressure on McCown. Now throwing and incomplete on the near side.
Good coverage there by the Wildcat.
Intended for Jermaine Taylor.
That's number 3. Good defense.
That's Grayson Hardy for Sulphur Springs. Third down from the 11-yard line of the Wildcats.
Yeah, they're taking their time on this. 6:03 left in the first half here. Wildcats up 7-6. The Indians knocking on the door of another touchdown.
McCown takes the snap, and he is sacked.
A wonder, the number 24 for the Wildcats, straight up the middle and sacked Brady McCown.
Alex McCormick on the blitz, the sophomore for Sulphur Springs.
Dropping him for a big loss of about 6 yards, I guess, there.
Back to the 17.
That's going to make it 4th and 16 for... And they're changing out the personnel there. You think they're going to try to kick a field goal?
Yeah, they're coming in with Jesus Nunez, the place kicker.
Try to put the place kicker out there and try to put 3 points on the board. Pretty short kick for Nunez there. 35-yard
field goal attempt here. Angle is to the left. Here's the snap. Kick is on the way, and it is good.
So the Indians here with 5:09 left in this first half put 3 more points on the board. That's going to make it 9-7. The Jacksonville Indians 9, your Wildcats 7, as they go ahead on that short field goal. So we're going to take a quick break as they get set up for the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff, and we'll be back with Wildcat football here in just a moment.
So it's a 58-yard drive and 11 plays there for Jacksonville. And Nunez is the place kicker who gets the 35-yard field goal for the Indians to put them ahead 9-7.
There you go. And then the Indians coming back to kick off, and the Wildcats will receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff, and they'll have 5 minutes and 9 seconds before the half to try to get some more points on the board. We've got our regular staff back here to receive the kickoff that we had last time. No change in personnel there. So they kicked it short last time, and fair catch was called and just fielded that ball and no advancement. We'll see what they kick this time. It's another short one.
Nunez again kicking diagonally to the far side.
Yeah, same exact place. That really could have been an instant replay of that last one.
A lot of high school teams do that now.
Number 9 fielded that, and the Wildcats will start their first down about the 30. That's going to be the 26-yard line for the Wildcats, and so they'll have kind of a ways to go to get down the field. 5 minutes and 9 seconds left in this first half. The Wildcats are down right now 9-7 as the Jacksonville Indians have gone ahead on their last drive. But at least they didn't score a touchdown. The Wildcats held them to that field goal. There was some real good defense on that last drive for the Indians.
That was Wyatt Watson on the fair catch a moment ago. Here's the first down play, and the Wildcats going to run to the left side, and on the carry here for Sulphur Springs, this is Cameron Jefferson, who had a nice gain on the last series, and this is even better. He gets out to about the 31-yard line.
Yeah, about a 5-yard gain there. That's going to give the Wildcats 2nd and 5 on the next play, and the Wildcats kind of taking their time as the clock ticks down, not using the fast pace that the Indians were using on their last drive. So
2nd down and 5 from the 31-yard line. Driver, play action, throwing deep for Sky Lewis. Battling with one of the Indians there at about the 35-yard line. Incomplete, no flag. Some contact between the two.
Yeah, some tight coverage there, we'll call it. But he couldn't come up with the ball, so it's going to be 3rd and 5 for the Wildcats on their own 31-yard line. Good pass, long pass. Wildcat kind of number 6 there coming off the field. Just tired after a long run, maybe looks like, and going to sit out for a play or two.
3rd and 5 from the 31-yard line in Sulphur Springs territory. Driver lost the ball, now falls on it back at the 24-yard line. Brady Driver, the Wildcat quarterback, trying to step up and make a pass downfield, but somebody stripped him of the ball, and fortunately for the Wildcats, he was able to fall on it. And so it's going to be 4th and about 11 for Sulphur Springs, but at least Sulphur Springs retains possession of the ball, and they're able to punt here.
4th down and 11.
Loss of 6 yards back to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, so it's punt time for the Wildcats. 3:51 and counting down here in the half. So the Indians will get another chance to put some points on the board, unfortunately.
Driver will punt here for Sulphur Springs. 4th down and 11. High snap. Gets the punt away. This is a very nice punt. And Reese Hicks just watch it sail over his head, and wow, it takes a left turn all the way to the 10-yard line. Wow.
Yeah, so a wonderful punt that took a very good Wildcat bounce over the head of the punt returner for the Indians, and it just looked like it was just going to bounce and go right out of bounds. And then it just stayed. It took a turn and just kept rolling down, and now all the way back on the 10-yard line. 3:24 left in the half. The Indians up 9-0. over the Wildcats, who have 7, but they've got 90 yards to go now.
Brady Driver will tell you he's been practicing putting English on the ball to make it turn that way from the sideline back onto the field. But that's a 64-yard punt by Brady Driver for Sulphur Springs.
Well, it certainly worked.
Yeah. Outstanding. So Jacksonville leading 9-7 from their own 10-yard line with 3:24 left to go in the half. Keep it on the ground. This is Reese Hicks. No, beg your pardon. That is Maris. D.D. Maris, who runs up the middle for the Indians and close to a first down.
Yep, they're going to move the chains. They're going to call it first down, and they snap the ball again.
Yeah. So once again, they keep it on the ground. This is looking like a rugby scrum.
Yeah,
here.
right. About 7 Wildcats wrapped up that running back for the Indians, and now we've got a Wildcat down. They're going to take a...
D.D. Maris again on the carry there for the Jacksonville Indians. And
we're going to take a quick injury timeout. We've got a Wildcat down. We're going to take a break and be back with you here with 2:56 left in the first half at Jacksonville Stadium. We'll be back in just a moment. And we're back at Jacksonville, where Jacksonville has the ball, and the Wildcats are trying to keep them on their end of on the Indian side of the field. Just had a injured player for the Wildcats, shaking up a little bit, but walking off under his own power, so everything's okay there. And 2:56 left in this first half, as the Wildcats are trying to keep the Indians from advancing to the field here. Indians trying to get some more points on the board, John Mark.
2nd and 3 here from the 27-yard line. D.D. Maris with a 7-yard gain on that last play. And here's a toss to Jaden Boyd, the big fella going wide left. And Boyd finally turns upfield and I believe will have the first down across the 35 to about the 37-yard line.
Good run by the Indians as they up the field. They're getting up on the ball and getting ready to snap it again as they move the chains. The clock is still ticking down. 2:42 and counting in this first half.
1st and 10 from the 37. And they keep it between the tackles with Jaden Boyd.
And Boyd, like another first down.
A wrecking ball of a ball carrier there for the Jacksonville Indians. He's up to the 48-yard line for a gain of 11 yards and another first down.
They're getting up on the ball quick, trying to keep that momentum going.
2:32 left to go in the half. Jacksonville leading 9-7. McCown passing, and it is tipped, I think, by one of the Wildcats, but now caught.
It was deflected and by a Wildcat, and thought maybe it was a fumble that Wildcats dove on it, but it's going to be ruled an incomplete pass. It's going to stop the clock with 2:25 left in the first half. The Indians now debating what to do on 2nd and 10 as they're just on their side of the 50 right here at midfield.
Zach Thomas came up with the ball for Sulphur Springs, but as Chad told you, it looks like it was an incomplete pass. Here's D.D. Maris on a pitch to the short side of the field. Not much room out there for him.
And tried to get out of bounds, but he did not. They're going to keep that clock running. 2:15 and counting as they get back up on the ball. Just over the 50-yard line into Wildcat territory. Wildcats are going to call a timeout, and we're going to take a timeout with them as this very exciting game coming down to the wire here in the first half at Jacksonville Stadium. We'll be back in just a moment. And we're back. Wildcat football here in Jacksonville, Texas. A very exciting game coming down here in the first half. John Mark, 9-7. The Indians over the Wildcats, and the Indians have the ball with 2:08 left in this first half. And so we've seen some good drives, some good running, some good passes. What do you think?
Well, we had the first 6 possessions of the game and no score at all.
Correct, yes.
All punts and turned the ball over on downs and so forth. Then we had 3 possessions in a row in which we did have a score. And then Sulphur Springs on this last possession ended up punting, and then we had the 64-yard punt by Brady Driver. But now Jacksonville has been able to drive the ball from their own 10-yard line to the 50 here, but we have a 3rd down and 8 right now for Jacksonville. Moving left to right. Brady McCown, time to throw, pump fakes, passing, and incomplete, but a flag down at the 30-yard line.
Well, yes, some tight coverage there by the Wildcat. We'll see what they call that, if it's against the Wildcats or if the Indians pushed off. So the gentlemen in the white and black striped shirts are discussing it right now. We'll try to see.
That was intended for their outstanding receiver and linebacker, Jermaine Taylor. It is pass interference against Sulphur Springs.
So that's going to be a big penalty against the Wildcats in favor of the Indians. And a 2:02 left here in this first half. They're going to mark off some yardage. We'll see where that's going to put them.
Automatic first down, of course.
Yeah. Mark it off here from the line of scrimmage back there.
Around the 35-yard line.
Yep. So they're going to walk all the way down there to, about the
34.
34, they're going to call it in Wildcat territory. Give the Indians a new set of downs. It's going to be 1st and 10 in Wildcat territory on the 34-yard line.
Brady McCown, the quarterback, has the high snap and running play between the tackles, and that is Reese Hicks on the carry. And 4 or 5 Wildcats team up to bring him down at the 31-yard line, but that is a gain of about 3 yards. 1:35 left to go in the half, and Jacksonville leading 9-7 over Sulphur Springs. But on the marks, they have moved from their own 10-yard line to the Sulphur Springs 31-yard line.
Yes.
This is the 9th play of the drive.
Yeah, I said they had 90 yards to go, and they're clicking them off right now. Part of it being a Wildcat penalty. 1:17 and counting left in this half.
McCown, play-action pass, going for Whitaker at the goal line off his fingertips.
Yes, really a well-executed play, a good pass, and a great run, but just off the fingertips, and just couldn't come up with it. That's going to stop the clock with 1 minute and 10 seconds left in this first half, and the Indians are it's going to be 3rd down for them, John Mark.
Malachi Clayton, really good coverage for Sulphur Springs that time on Elijah Whitaker. But here is 3rd down and 8 from the 31-yard line. McCown hands it off to Reese Hicks, but we hear whistles as the play gets underway, and I think this one's coming back.
Well, 1:07 left in this first half. The Indians 9, the Wildcats 7. Kind of a strange score there, but it's they missed an extra point attempt.
It's a penalty against Jacksonville. This is a 5-yard false start penalty.
So that's good news for your Sulphur Springs Wildcats. And defense has been out there for quite a long time on this series, and it's got to be hot out there. Still, the temperature down on the field, it's 93 degrees outside, but the temperature's got to be much hotter out there on that artificial turf for these Wildcat defenders.
Indians behind the chains here on 3rd down and 12 from the 36. McCown passing, and it is then flipped after it's caught to a trailing back. And that play worked out very well for Jacksonville. And that back who took the lateral, there's Jaden Boyd, and he is all the way to the Sulphur Springs 10-yard line.
Oh, my goodness. That was kind of a little trick play there. Flipped it back as soon as he got it, and now...
Hook and ladder.
Yep, and they're going to talk about it out here. The officials haven't moved the chains yet, haven't moved the ball, and now they're coming over to discuss something with...
false start or illegal procedure against Jacksonville.
And it's coming back.
Huge break for Sulphur Springs.
Yes, that is a huge break. So they're going to march it back down the field, and
that was a 26-yard gain on 3rd down and 12 for Jacksonville.
1:01 left in the first half here, 9-7. They're going to mark that ball all the way back, still in Wildcat territory, but on the 41-yard line. So That's going to make the probably 3rd and 19, I would guess, maybe.
Yes, that would be a pretty accurate rendering of that situation. Chet would have had the ball at the Sulphur Springs 10
with a new set of downs.
Yeah. Would have been 1st and goal. Play action pass, McCown. Moving in the pocket, looking downfield. Throwing inside the 10-yard line, and the ball is knocked down by one of the Wildcats over on the far side.
Yes, and that Wildcat took a hit when but he's up and he almost intercepted by a Wildcat there. It's going to be 4th and forever for McCowan now for the Indians.
It's Malachi Rowland that made the play for Sulphur Springs.
Great play. He really saved that one because that if that receiver had come down for it, probably would have been a touchdown for the Indians.
So 40 seconds left to go in the half. 4th down and 19 for Jacksonville. Jesus Nunez apparently will punt. Line of scrimmage, the Sulphur Springs 41-yard line. Wildcats have 2 men back. One is Sky Lewis. Whistles. Prior to the snap.
And more discussion.
False start or illegal procedure. We always say false start, but a lot of times I think it's not really a false start per se. It's an illegal procedure penalty. Okay, they've had a lot of penalties on this possession, by the way.
Yes, and this is going to be a little bit better news for the Wildcats. As 40 seconds left in this first half, they are going to get the ball back, keep the Indians off the board again, and get the ball back, and have very little time to do something with it, but at least they'll have the ball. It's a squib kick here.
Nunez with a low punt for Sulphur Springs, and this is on the return, a very short return, Wyatt Watson.
Yes, and he fielded that ball right in the face of an Indian defender and got a couple of yards out of it, but they're going to start their 1st and 10 on the Wildcat, about the 21-yard line. They've got a long way to go. That's going to be 79 yards. They've got 29 seconds to go that far, so we're going to look for a couple of big passes on this and see if they can and they did it. I don't know what the time was on that touchdown, but they threw a couple of big passes and did a great job. So
it was a 37-yard punt by Jesus Nunez. Now, 1st down the 21-yard line for the Wildcats, and they are showing every indication they're going to run out the clock.
Just going to kneel it down and run the clock out. So
Brady Driver takes a knee, and that'll be the final play of the first half. And so we're going to go to halftime with Jacksonville leading over Sulphur Springs 9-7.
Yes, they're letting the clock run down, just making sure that they're not leaving the field yet, because they're making sure that somebody doesn't call a timeout and make them go back out on the field.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah, so 5-4, that's going to be double zeros here in just a second, and that's going to be the first half. Your Wildcats 7, the Jacksonville Indians 9, and an exciting first half, really an exciting second quarter of that first half, as the Sulphur Springs Wildcat Band will be coming out and playing first. But we're going to take a quick break. Anything you want to add about that first half before we go to break?
Well, I'll tell you, let's take the break and we'll come back and then we'll recap the scoring and kind of summarize the first half.
Absolutely. We'll get ready for halftime here at Jacksonville Stadium. Your Wildcats 9-7. The Indians up 9-7. We'll be back in just a moment. And we're back at Jacksonville Stadium as the Blue Blazes come out to perform their halftime show. Then we'll have the band. John Mark, an exciting first half of football, but we're going to let our listeners listen to the performance of the drill team and let those on YouTube watch that performance. We won't interrupt that.
Junior Lieutenants Trinity Martin, Sedona McCollum, Senior Lieutenant Lily Glenn, Co-Captain Carter Charter, and Captain Jackie Monroe. The Blazes want to send a special shout out to their Blaze of the Week, Star Garcia, and their Spirit Girl of the Week, Sarah Voss. The Blazes want to thank their Spotlight Teacher of the Week, Miss Rideman. The Blazes are under the direction of Meredith Dial and Assistant Director Shelley Caldwell. The Blazes would like to thank their sponsors, Roper & White, The Sign Shop, Wyatt's Towing, Bob Evans, Hopkins County Abstract, Hodges Orthodontics, Caldwell Banker Watson Company, Ken's Heat and Air, Cornerstone Reno, and Baharina Construction. Now join the Blazes as they dance through the holidays this football season. Tonight, the Blazes will perform a Rockin' Palm to Holiday. Ladies and gentlemen, here they come. Man, oh man, that Wildcat Band. Here's the Wildcat Band on the field, the senior drum majors, Catherine Starzik, Jerry Residence, and Lauren Menard. Joining them, junior drum major, Brody Emery. Wildcat Band would like to recognize this year's first Section of the Week and Spirit Stick recipient. The percussion. And this week's band members of the week are Haven Hardy and Paige Batterton. Tonight the Wildcat Band is excited to make a splash as we begin another exciting season with this year's show entitled H2O.
Another fantastic performance by the Wildcat Band, John Marr.
Well, yeah, I tell you, Sulphur Springs is getting that reputation, and I saw the note here the last few days, actually further back than that, but I was reminded of it a few days ago that Sulphur Springs High School won 5th place in the 4A UIL Lone Star Cup competition in 2023, earning points for fine arts, academics, and athletics, and band is certainly part of that. So, and the drill team. So, props to the Sulphur Springs ISD for that very impressive performance there in the top 5 of the UIL Lone Star Cup competition. Wow.
Yeah, well, fantastic. And so this is the time as the other band comes out, their other drill team is going to be performing, and then their band will perform. We'll talk about what's going on with in the locker room right now. Is Brandon Fairchild probably giving a little pep talk to the Wildcats, and not a bad first half. Pretty good on the defense side of the ball, really. Just going to have to get that ball moving on the offense.
I'm surprised that Sulphur Springs did not generate more offense in the first half. I really am, and I kind of think that we'll see a lot more in the second half. But one of the problems that the Wildcats are having is that I am also surprised that Jacksonville has the ground game that they do. They've been able to keep the ball moving with their running game, and that keeps the clock moving. We don't have the stats on it, but it would be very interesting to see, the time of possession. I suspect that Jacksonville has a big advantage in time of possession. In the first half, if I get a chance, we could count up a number of snaps. I would be able to talk about that, but I think that the rushing game for Jacksonville has allowed them to kind of keep control of the game more than Sulphur Springs would like.
Yeah, and then on their passing game, when they have a pass, when they connect on when Brady McCowan connects with one of his receivers, it's usually big.
Yep.
And they've a lot of incomplete passes on their side of the ball, but when they connect big, and they can move down the field on that. And their fast-paced offense is really working for them, I think. The Wildcats get set up, but not quick enough to call a play, and the offense of the Indians, they'll run down, and even on a first down, when they're moving the chains, they'll snap that ball before they get the chain set, and they're off to the races, and it's worked out very well for them a couple of times. And so I think I think we'll see the defense of the Wildcats getting up to the line a little bit faster in the second half and trying to anticipate that fast-paced offense. Now, got a message from James Terry back at the station. A caller has called in to remind me, not you, but remind me it's not Jacksonville Stadium, but it's the Tomato Bowl. And we have a great view of that, of the home side over there, where in big, huge letters it does say the Tomato Bowl, and I have really no idea why a stadium built in the 1940s is still referred to as the Tomato Bowl.
Well, again, my understanding is it's because of tomato farming, the big crop of tomatoes. Now, whether that is still so or not, I don't know, but I suspect in 1940 that it was, and it may very well still be. It is the historic Tomato Bowl.
Oh, the historic Tomato Bowl. Okay, well, I stand corrected on all of that, and I'll try to make a better use of my explanation of where we are. We're here at the Tomato Bowl, Jacksonville, Texas. As the Wildcats are down 9-7, the Indians have put 9 points on the board. The Wildcats, a very impressive drive to put 7 points on the board, and we're watching of course, we're on the wrong side to see the performance of not only the drill teams and the band for both sides, as we're on the visitor side, and kind of a rare setup over here, but we're inside, some nice air conditioning, and even though it's 91 degrees outside and the flag out there is not moving, there's not a breath of air out there on the field. Right. So I know these young kids are really sweating during these performances, so our hat is off to them as they put in some great performances. So we'll be back in just a moment. We'll hear from some of our halftime sponsors, and we'll talk more about what's coming up in the second half. James, take us to break, please, sir. And we're back at the Tomato Bowl. John Mark here in Jacksonville, Texas, as the Wildcats are down 9-7. The Indians have had a good first half, and so have you got some more stats for us about?
Let's recap the scoring here. Scoreless first quarter.
Right.
And then Jacksonville gets the ball at their own 45-yard line. They have a 55-yard drive in 4 plays, a 15-yard pass on that drive to Brendan Richards was a key play, but then they got the 28-yard touchdown pass from Brady McCown to Jermaine Taylor. And the snap on the extra point was low, so they did not get the extra point, but it was 6-0 Jacksonville with 10:34 left to go in the first half. Wildcats came right back. That really seemed to jolt them. They started at their own 27-yard line. They score in 3 plays, a 73-yard drive in 3 plays, and the big play on that drive was a 49-yard catch and run by Jackson Hare to the Jacksonville 17-yard line. Next play, it was the 17-yard touchdown pass from Brady Driver to Sky Lewis, and then the extra point was good by Eric Rodriguez, and the Wildcats led 7-6 at that point midway through the second quarter. And then Jacksonville goes on a long drive, but only able to get a field goal out of it. A 58-yard drive in 11 plays, a 15-yard run by Dede Maris was a key play on that drive, but the 35-yard field goal by Jesus Nunez gave them a 9-7 lead. That was with 5:09 left to go in the second quarter, and there was no more scoring in the first half. Jacksonville had a long drive, or kept the ball for a long time anyway, started at their own 10-yard line after that 64-yard punt, you remember, by Brady Driver for Sulphur Springs, pinned them back. But again, we saw that their ability to run the football was effective, and they got all the way to the Sulphur Springs 31-yard line, and in fact got to the 10-yard line, but then they had a penalty that brought that play back, and they were penalized several times, ended up having to punt. But they had a very effective drive there from their own 10-yard line as far as the Sulphur Springs 31, but the penalties and mistakes seemed to get the best of them at that point. Anyway, 9-7 is our score here at halftime.
Yes,
Jacksonville leading.
We got one halftime score. I've got the Mount Vernon Tigers over they're playing Ford. I don't know where that is.
Quinlan Ford,
and they're 21-16. So they're doing well in their first half of their ball game, and I think Now I wonder what I think it's going to be business as usual for the Jacksonville Fighting Indians as they when they come out. They have a great success with handing that ball off to their huge running back there that can just power over
Jaden Boyd.
Yes, just he powers over everybody that just takes 3 or 4 Wildcat defenders to take him down. And then they've got to straighten out their passing game. They have a great arm and Brady McCowan, and they've got some really good receivers, but just haven't been able to connect. But like we said, when they connect big. And so I expected to see some other big pass plays by the Indians in this second half. So we'll see what the night holds. Maybe both sides, all the players on each side are getting some good rest and getting rehydrated as the Wildcats come back out on their corner of the field over on this side as the Indian band is wrapping up and leaving the field, so it won't be long now before the second half.
Really important point, Chad, is that Sulphur Springs will have the ball to start the third quarter.
They will.
I think that's why we saw them run out the clock at the end of the first half.
Because they knew they were going to be getting the ball back. Yes, that's a great point. They won the toss and deferred to take the second half kickoff, and so that's going to work out well for them. They did a good job holding the Indians there on that last drive. That was kind of scary. The Indians had plenty of time. We're marching down the field, like you said, some bad plays and some penalties pushed them back, but it was also because of the Wildcat defenders that kind of held them, did a great job of keeping them off the getting on the scoreboard.
Well, remember also we had a great play on the Sulphur Springs side of the ball as far as the defense is concerned. Alex McCormick, the sophomore linebacker, had a sack on Brady McCown, and that was a key play on that drive by Jacksonville in keeping them from being able to score.
Right, exactly. And it looks like Mount Pleasant, who we face next week, they're up over, let's see, who are they playing this week? That's
Pittsburgh, looks like.
Yes, 23-7 over Pittsburgh, right? And so they're doing having a good first half there. A lot of these teams' scores coming in right here at halftime. So your halftime score for your Wildcats, the Indians 9, the Wildcats 7. And so we're going to take another break as the Wildcats get ready to come out and receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff for the second half. We'll take a break and be back with you in just a moment. And we're back here in Jacksonville at the Tomato Bowl, John Mark, and the Wildcats are getting ready to come back out and start this second half as the halftime clock under 30 seconds counting down, and the Indians are taking the field. They're excited to be back out there. It's just still certainly unbearably hot out there on the field, 91 degrees still outside. It just doesn't seem to be cooling off. And
I will say this, though. It has cooled off some since we got it.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
yes.
When I went out at halftime,
or whatever.
Yeah, when I went out at halftime, it's still hot, but not like it was when we got here about 5:30. So
yes, so making that long drive in the J. Hodge Chevrolet, that Tahoe that they so graciously loaned us to drive today.
Nice vehicle.
Yes, very nice vehicle, and see Bill Owens and the gang over there at J. Hodge, and they're sponsoring our kickoff as the Wildcats will be receiving the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff here in just a moment. The big balloon tunnels are being deflated and drug off the field, and the Wildcats are already getting some instructions from their coaches there to get this second half started.
Lady Wildcats volleyball team was in action this evening. They played Wills Point at 4:30 at the Wildcat Gym, and if anybody should have that score and you can get that to us, we would like to know it. They were 11-8 coming into the game under head coach Bailey Dorner. Now, they will be at home Tuesday night against Canton, so that's a good opportunity to see them in action. 6 p.m. Tuesday, Lady Wildcat volleyball at home Tuesday night. Cross-country team at Kaufman tomorrow, and I'm sure they'll be getting a very early start for that meet, no doubt around 8 a.m. But They'll be at Kaufman. So good luck to the Lady Wildcat volleyball team and the cross-country team. Also, team tennis, I believe, is playing now. Here's the kickoff by Jesus Nunez, and again, that short diagonal kick taken to the right side by Wyatt Watson for the Sulphur Springs Wildcats, and Sulphur Springs will start at the 33-yard line.
First and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Now they say the 30-yard line. I thought I saw him at the 33, but the 30-yard line. That will be the line of scrimmage for the Sulphur Springs Wildcats, trailing 9-7 here as we start the second half of play in Jacksonville tonight in the historic Tomato Bowl.
There we go. Glad you got that right, John Park.
Brady Driver in the shotgun. First down from the 30. Handoff. Straight ahead, and a little wiggle there, and this is for Sulphur Springs. This is D. Rose Luke. First time we have seen him.
Yes, and he gave a second and third effort all the way up, 12-yard gain there for a first down, and it's Hooten's Hardware first down for your Wildcats.
D. Rose Luke in the ball game. He takes the handoff again, goes to his right and cuts it back, and showing more power than you might imagine.
Yes.
Pushing the pile there, as he is not a very big guy.
He just kept pushing. He turned a 1-yard gain into 5, and they're going to mark him up there. It's going to be 2nd and 5 for your Wildcats. Getting close to the midfield line there. They're still on their side, on the Wildcat side. And they're going to call that one the forward progress. They're going to back him up just a little bit there.
Give him the 48-yard line, we'll say. So this is 2nd down and 5. That first gain of 12 yards gave the Wildcats a first down. Now, once again, Luke going to his right, cutting it back, keeping his feet moving, and he is into Jacksonville territory and close to a first down at about the 47-yard line. D. Rose Luke. He is a junior running back, and we did not see him in the first half.
1st and 10, another Hooten's Hardware first down for your Wildcats. They're on the Indian side of the field into Indian territory, trying to make something happen, put some points on the board.
Jeff Stevenson out over the football at center for Sulphur Springs. Here's Luke again on the handoff from Driver. Luke off tackle to the left side, lowers his shoulder, and close to another first down as Elijah Whitaker there on the tackle for Jacksonville along with Andrew Dials.
Give him about 9 yards, it looks like.
Gets to 37.
Yeah, so that's going to be a real good gain.
They haven't moved the down marker here for whatever reason.
No, not yet.
But that looks like...
Thought I saw a flag.
Well, now you may have.
Yeah, there's now they're...
Holding Sulphur Springs.
So they're going to back that one up.
Yeah, that'll take away about a 10-yard gain for the Wildcats, and depending upon where the spot of the foul was, we'll see what the down and distance will be. It'll still be first down.
Still walking.
Must have been right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, so that's going to back them all the way up. It's going to make it a 1st and 20.
In fact, behind the line of scrimmage, yeah. Mercy. That pushes Sulphur Springs all the way back to the 43-yard line in Sulphur Springs territory.
Oh, my goodness. So let's...
That's 1st and 20.
Yeah.
Wildcats moving right to left. They are trailing 9-7 to Jacksonville early in the third period. Brady Driver takes the snap. Driver fakes the handoff, keeps it himself. He is a dangerous ball carrier, and he is on the loose as he goes out to the right side and is into Jacksonville territory and gets a lot of that yardage lost back as he's up to the 48-yard line. In Jacksonville territory. So he gets 9 yards on that carry. And by the way, Brady Driver last season, 524 yards rushing. For Sulphur Springs, 5.3 yards per carry and 9 touchdowns. 6'1", 190-pound senior, first-team all-district player in 22. 2nd down 11 from the 47-yard line. Driver to Luke. And Luke between the tackles. Running hard is across the 45 to about the 42-yard line for a gain of about 5 yards. And this is going to be third down and make it 6 for Sulphur Springs. Wildcats down 9-7. This is their first possession of the second half. Brady Driver, the junior quarterback, takes the snap, passing, and incomplete over on the far side, intended for Chris Adams, but threw it behind him.
Yeah, a little bit behind him, sure was, and so that's going to bring up. Is that going to be fourth down?
It should be fourth down now. Yeah,
fourth down. They haven't changed it yet, but.
By the way, I just called Brady Driver a junior. He is a senior. Don't want to take away from his academic credit there.
I still haven't changed the down marker. It's going to be.
Yeah, there's still some confusion about that. And Luke.
They're looking for
Brandon. I'm mixing my head coaches up. Jason Holman is asking about it. Jason Holman, the head coach of the Jacksonville Indians. And now a penalty being walked off against Jacksonville here. And I did not see the indication of that, but it will be fourth down and 1. It's fourth down, but fourth down and 1. Driver keeps it for Sulphur Springs. Now, was there a loose ball? I think he had the first down.
Yeah, he had the first down. Turned around, knocked the ball loose. They dropped it. There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, flag.
There's all kinds of stuff going on here. They're really going to have to sort this one out.
So that previous play, there was some confusion about whether it was third down or fourth down, and they finally did say that it was fourth down, but they moved the ball up, and it was a fourth down and 1 play for whatever reason. This is the first game for everybody, officials included.
Yep, so now they're talking about it again.
Face mask penalty here against Jacksonville.
All right.
So that's a personal foul, and that'll give the Wildcats the first down. And that might have accounted, Chad, for Brady losing the handle of the football.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But the penalty now against Jacksonville.
They're walking it on down there, so that's going to be really good news for the Wildcats. Give them a new set of downs. It's going to be your Hootens Hardware first down. About the 22-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 for your Wildcats. Knocking on the door of the end zone here in Indian territory here at the Tomato Bowl.
Yeah, first down at the 22-yard line. Sulphur Springs trailing 9-7. This drive started at the Wildcat 30-yard line. This now will be the 7th play of the drive. Luke on the handoff from Driver.
Looks like a loose
and Luke
ball
that
there.
Does. It looks as if he might have lost the handle on the ball.
And looks like the Indians, they think they came up with it.
The indication is a recovery for Jacksonville.
So that's going to turn the ball over and give them first down deep in their own territory, about on the 23-yard line. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Indians. Unfortunate turn of events there for your Wildcats as he dove over the middle and just ended up losing the ball. So the defense for your Wildcats come out and try to hold these Indians deep into their own territory.
Ball will be on the 18-yard line. It was Reese Hicks that came up with the fumble recovery for Jacksonville. So on first down, running play between the tackles, and the Wildcats respond to it extremely well. Ryan Walker, one of the tacklers there for Sulphur Springs, that is Dede Maris on the carry for Jacksonville. And did he get back to the line of scrimmage would be the question. Or perhaps did he pick up a yard?
Yeah, they're going to give him a couple of yards there, it looks like, and it's going to call it 2nd and.
Yeah, he actually did get a couple of yards, didn't he? So here is a quick pass to the sideline, and it is complete. And from Brady McCown.
Yes, that receiver broke 2 tackles, spun around, and it took 3 Wildcats to take him down. So a huge gain there after that short 2-yard gain. They're going to move all the way up to the 35-yard line, 36-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 for those Indians.
Jermaine Taylor on the catch for Jacksonville. D.D. Maris takes the handoff, going off right tackle up to about the 40-yard line before he's brought down. And in on that tackle for Sulphur Springs, Ty Bybee was there, who had 58 tackles a year ago. Also, once again, well, this was Braxton Wall, I should say, the linebacker, senior linebacker for the Wildcats, helping out also on that tackle. 2nd down and 5 from the 40-yard line. Indians from the spread. They give it to the big guy, Jaden Boyd. Boyd problem. Between the tackles, just plowing ahead and gets to about the 50-yard line. Ryan Walker there for Sulphur Springs to help bring him down. Also went on that tackle was Nathan Andrews, senior.
Be another Indian 1st down. They come up to the line pretty quickly. They want to get that fast-paced offense going again. That kind of caused some trouble for the Wildcats.
10 yards on that gain now from the 50, 1st down and 10. Jaden Boyd a step to the right of the quarterback. Now here is a misplay on the snap. Some kind of miscommunication there, and McCown has to fall on it back at the Jacksonville 41-yard line for a loss of 9 yards.
Yeah, good break for the Wildcats there. Just snapped it too high. He lost it, went between his hands, hit him in the helmet, and he dropped the ball and then just fell on it. A loss of 9 yards, and so expect a big pass play here.
I'm not even sure if he was ready for it. He might not have been expecting the snap on the count when it came. Here's the snap to Brady McCown, passing to the far side. A sliding catch over on the far side by Jermaine Taylor, who's had a big night for the Indians in Sulphur Springs territory at the 49-yard line. This was a 2nd down and 20 play for Jacksonville. Now another conversation involving the officials. Referee is Richard King tonight. And we have an illegal procedure penalty against Jacksonville. So that's going to wipe out that nice gain to the Sulphur Springs 49-yard line.
A lot of mistakes here.
And on top of that bad snap or miscommunication on the snap, the play before, this moves them back now to the 36-yard line, or it should. Now they're walking it off, so they'll bring it back to the 36. So this is 2nd down and very long. They are really behind the chains here.
Yep.
And I have a hard time reading the scoreboard from where we sit, but they say 2nd and 24. Is that what that says? Here's another bad snap or some kind of problem between the center and the quarterback, Brady McCown, and he falls on the ball all the way back at the Jacksonville 24-yard line.
Wow.
Mercy.
Yes.
That's a loss of 12 yards.
Yeah, and this is going to be, should be 4th down now.
Good heavens.
Maybe they've already changed the down marker there. 3rd down. They're showing 5 minutes left here in this 3rd quarter. They're kind of slowing down their fast-paced offense here.
I've got this 3rd and 35. I'm not trusting the scoreboard.
Right, no, it's 10, 20, 35, probably more than that.
McCown with the snap, passing, and it's caught by Elijah Whitaker. Whitaker circles out of a tackle, gets up to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, and he was popped by number 42 for the Wildcats there, and kept him from getting a big gain there. Well, he got a big gain, but he needed a huge gain. So
they only give him the 33. I saw him. I thought he got to the 35, but gets to the 33 for a gain of 9 yards. But 4th and very long here.
27, I think, is the way I counted. 4:25 left in this 3rd quarter. The Indians are going to have to punt here. There's got 2 Wildcats back.
Not much choice.
On their own 35-yard line, waiting for the pump. Got number 6.
They got as far as the 50-yard line on this possession, you recall.
Oh, yeah. The first and 10 marker there starts at the 50 going into Wildcat territory at the 40, and now we have maybe delay of
game. Yeah.
So,
right. So
it's
wheels
back them up a little bit more before they have to kick it.
It's wheels off for Jacksonville right now.
Yeah. So a lot of
I don't know what happened with these bad snaps or
miscommunication
or whatever's going on there, but that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So pushing back another 5 yards to the 28-yard line. Jacksonville, in all of this, Jacksonville is still leading 9-7 over Sulphur Springs with 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter. 2 Wildcat safeties standing at the 42-yard line in Sulphur Springs territory. Jesus Nunez, beautiful punt, spiraling punt, fair catch taken at the 44-yard line.
On the Wildcat side.
Yes, at the Wildcat 44 by Wyatt Watson. He's very sure-handed for Sulphur Springs on all kicks.
So a lot of time clicking off the clock there. It's 3 minutes 56 seconds left in this third quarter. Wildcats not making much of their first possession in the second half, and the Indians going backwards more than they went forward on that particular possession. And so now no points scored in the second half. It's still 9-7. The Wildcats are down. The Indians have 9, the Wildcats 7, and the Wildcats are going to have their first down on their own 45-yard line to start this drive.
Man in motion from right to left. And Driver handing off to Cameron Jefferson. Jefferson off left tackle and nowhere to go.
Maybe they're going to give him a yard on that. Maybe not. No gain on the play. They're going to, and he had a little second effort there, but I guess his knee got down. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 right on the Wildcat 45-yard line.
Wildcats trailing 9-7. Play action pass. And quickly out to the flat, and that is Wyatt Watson who makes the catch and then is able to maneuver downfield for a few more yards into Jacksonville territory. He gets to the 46-yard line. So 3rd down and 1 for Sulphur Springs. 3:13 left to go, third quarter.
Still 9-7, Indians over the Wildcats here at the Tomato Bowl.
Wildcats had a nice sustained drive on their first possession of the third quarter, but lost it on a fumble. Now this is their second possession. Brady Driver will keep it, and Driver straight ahead lowers his shoulder and will have the first down as he gets to about the 40-yard line of Jacksonville.
Yes, great keeper by Brady Driver going right up the middle. He only needed about a yard. He got 4 or 5 yards there on that carry, and so he got on down the field. They're well into Indian territory on the Indian 41-yard line. 1st and 10 for another Hooten's Hardware first down.
Sulphur Springs moving from our right to our left. They're moving to the south end zone at the Tomato Bowl.
Yep.
2 men wide to the far side. And this is another running play to Cameron Jefferson. And Jefferson,
here come the flags.
Jefferson goes down after a short gain, and flags down all over the place at the end of that play. And now temper's starting to flare just a bit.
Yeah.
Getting a little chippy out there. In all this heat.
They may not have thrown a flag on that. They should. There was, we'll call it some extended tackling on that play that running back for the Wildcats is already down, and the defender there for the Indians kept driving him into the ground. And so it turned out to be a bunch of the yellow hats on the Wildcat coaches there that I saw as they gathered around trying to break that up. Looks like
well, there's a conversation taking place.
Yes, that should
between
should
Richard.
have been a personal foul against the Indians because there was a lot of action going on after the whistle had blown.
Richard King, the referee, and Greg Gallion, the umpire, having a long conversation here at about the 37-yard line.
ended up being about a 2-yard gain for the Wildcats. It should be 2nd and 8, but looks like he's getting ready to mark off some yardage. Let's see what happens. Now there's another conversation going on the far side of the field with a couple of the striped shirts and getting their opinion on what happened from all the way on the far side of the field.
As it stands, I think it would be a 2nd down and 8.
It would.
At the 38-yard line in Jacksonville territory. And now the umpire, Greg Gallion, has the ball in his hand. He's facing the Jacksonville goal line as if he's about to walk off a penalty, but I don't want to presume that. There he goes.
Yeah, good. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in this third quarter as the...
this is a major penalty. It's a personal foul penalty.
Foul. It should have been.
And I took my the eyes off of the referee, Richard King, who signaled to the stands over on the far side, but it's a personal foul.
Oh, and it's offsetting personal fouls because he walked it off.
Oh, my goodness.
Then he walked it back.
Wow.
So
How about that?
The ball remains exactly where it was. They're going to show about that 2-yard gain.
Well, if it's dead ball, then the play would count, and it would be 2nd down and 8, but the down marker still showing 1st down, but it's
it should be 2nd.
I think they'll have to change that.
Yeah.
They have this electrically lit down marker, which I like a lot. It's very bright.
Yes,
it's easy
it's on
to
this
see.
side, which is easier to see, but the placement's not so easy to see.
They're still showing this as 1st down, but I don't know how it could be 1st down and 8.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see how it goes. But from the 38-yard line, here's the snap from Driver, and handoff goes to Cameron Jefferson off left tackle, and Jefferson slashing down close to a 1st down across the 35.
And they may mark him a little bit shorter there. I thought he was got about 9 yards. It's going to look like it's about 7, really.
Put him down at the 31 or 32.
32.
Put it at the 32.
Yep.
So that's a gain of 6 yards. And now they're still showing 2nd down, so we'll go with that. 2nd down and 2 for Sulphur Springs at the 32-yard line. Ball is on the near hash. Brady Driver takes the snap. Handoff to the setback, and that is Cameron Jefferson on this particular possession. Looks like he will remain in the game. And now here comes a very late flag as Jefferson got almost nothing on that 2nd down play, and a flag tossed high into the air at the end of that play.
So tensions running high here at the Tomato Bowl with Jacksonville Indians being pushed backwards down the field. The Wildcats doing a good job of marching down the field here, but also some penalties involved, some offsetting penalties on that last play.
We'd be looking at here at about a 3rd and 2, Chad.
Yep.
But
they still haven't changed the down marker, and they still haven't stopped discussing it. So
personal foul, personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, Sulphur Springs.
Yeah.
Oh my! So that's 15 yards the other way. All right, so they walk this one back to the 46-yard line.
1 minute, 43 seconds left in this third quarter. No score in the third quarter, 9-7, the Indians over the Wildcats. And a lot of pushing and shoving, a lot of tensions running high. It's time for a cool-down period for these Wildcats, because we don't want these referees getting their steps in so much by marking off this yardage.
It's about a 3rd and 16 now for Sulphur Springs. Driver takes the snap,
and there's a whistle.
In the pocket, whistles. Wow, it is a first game, isn't it?
Yep.
And Jacksonville had taken a timeout on the 3rd and 16 from the 46-yard line. For whatever reason, Jacksonville wanted timeout, and so they will have their timeout.
And we'll take a break with them. We'll be back in just a moment. And we're back at the Tomato Bowl in Jacksonville. The Wildcats 7, the Indians 9, 1:39 left in this third quarter. Tensions are running high. A few penalties, some unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, some offsetting penalties. John Mark has got the Wildcats pushed back now. What's that going to be? 3rd and 17, it looks like. But they're in Indian territory. They need to just kind of calm down.
Well, I think you've got 2 downs here. I think unless they were to lose some more yardage, I think they're unlikely to punt on 4th down. There's no way they're going to attempt a field goal.
Right.
So you look at this 3rd down and 16 play, or the scoreboard says 3rd and 17,
Yep.
As if you want to get maybe 10 yards or so, and then have a makeable 4th down. I think that's the way they will approach it. But I think I'm personally surprised that the Wildcat offense has not been more productive so far here tonight. But I think you've got to give a lot of credit to the Jacksonville defense for that, without doubt. But still a long way to go here.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of time left. Minute 39 left in this third quarter. We've got the whole fourth quarter, but I'm not sure if it's the heat that's getting to these players. It certainly has to be a factor. It's still 89 degrees outside and very humid. Got to be very hot down on that artificial turf. But it's just a lot going on. And the Indians, I have to say, in this second half, have not looked very organized.
No, they haven't.
Yeah.
They have not. And, they had the drive here some time ago that was just, as I think I used the word, wheels off. Had a lot of problems with the snaps and various penalties, illegal procedure, and the rest. I see that D. Rose Luke is back in the ball game for the Wildcats at the tailback position. He looked very good on the first possession of the third quarter here. And he's back in the game now at a running back slot for the Sulphur Springs Wildcats.
He has a lot of second effort on his runs and even some third effort. He gets on down the field, and it's difficult for those defenders to take him down, so that's what we need.
Jeff Stevenson, the center, out over the football. Snap to Driver. Driver rolling out, passing downfield for Sky Lewis. Did he make the catch? No. They say incomplete. Lewis very nearly made a spectacular one-handed catch inside the 20-yard line.
And I think one of those defenders got a hand on him and pushed him, but there's no flag. That defender even lost his helmet, but they're saying no contact.
Sulphur Springs coaches in the booth next to us definitely thought there should have been a call there.
Looking for that. If I had my yellow flag, I'd throw it from here, John Mark, because that was definitely some interference there. But
now they did not do what I thought they would do. They went for the first down and more on that play, and didn't try to just pick up half the yardage needed. So now they're looking here at a 4th and 17, unless is there a penalty, because there's some kind of conversation about that.
Yeah, they're marking something off. Must have been holding penalty, because they marked it off from in the middle of the field there where nothing else was happening, and now they're going the other way with it.
Confusion reigns.
Yeah. So, my goodness, that's going to be a big, huge gain for these Wildcats as they mark off some yardage against the Indians. I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, Chet, I still have not seen a flag down on the field here.
No, but they've changed the down marker to first down, but they haven't moved the chains yet. And so still a lot of confusion here. Now they're moving the chains, and they'll mark it. That's going to be a first down. Maybe they did call that pass interference that I saw. They saw my flag from all the way up here. So it's going to be first and 10, a Hootens Hardware first 10 for your Wildcats on the Indian 31-yard line.
That would be consistent with a pass interference call.
Yes,
Chad.
Yep. So right where first the official marked it back off against the Wildcats and then turned around.
Yeah.
So
that was 15 yards from the previous spot.
Yeah.
So that would suggest a pass interference call, but I never saw a flag.
No, I didn't either. But they marked off 15, moved the chains, changed the down marker to a 1, which is what we need, and now it's first and 10 for your Wildcats, and 1:31 left in this third quarter.
And now more polite palaver taking place on the field here.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. We're going to get this sorted out. We don't want to break away because this is some high tension right here.
You're right. I tell you one thing. You're right about the Wildcat coach's yellow cap. Sometimes if you see it out of the corner of your eye, that might look like a flag. But
well, of course, we're here on the visitor side, and for those of you not watching on our YouTube channel, but the players are between us and the field, and then the coaches are in front of the players, and so sometimes the coaches step out in view, being blocked by a player previously, and all of a sudden that yellow hat appears that they're wearing, and it looks like a flag. Here
okay.
comes.
1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Wildcats down 9-7. Here's a pass into the end zone for Sky Lewis. Looks like he's got it. Touchdown. 31-yard touchdown pass. Brady Driver to Sky Lewis. Nicely thrown ball and a beautiful catch by the senior. And here's another flag down at the end of this play.
Probably for excessive celebration,
Maybe
but what
so.
a fantastic play. And the Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go Wildcats for making that big play and a touchdown, putting 6 points on the board. They haven't changed the scoreboard yet, but it'll soon be 13-9 as the Wildcats go ahead of the Indians. And then, of course, we're waiting for the point after attempt here. So we'll see if they can put another point on the board and increase that.
Great leaping catch by Sky Davis, who's appropriately named Sky, in the back left corner of the end zone. But Brady Driver put it where only he could make that catch. So 31-yard touchdown pass, and that is the second touchdown pass of the night. Touchdown reception for Sky Lewis and the second touchdown pass for Brady Driver. So they're quite a combination. Eric Rodriguez on the field now to attempt the extra point for the Wildcats. Nathan Andrews is the snapper. And Caden Mitchell will hold, and a somewhat low snap there, but Caden Mitchell does a good job of getting it down, and the kick is good. So the Wildcats take a 14-9 lead over the Jacksonville Indians.
1:20 left in this third quarter. We're going to take a break as they get ready for the kickoff. We'll be back with you with some Wildcat football in just a moment. Indians with a score of 14-9 as they just connected with a beautiful pass play to the back corner of the end zone and put 6 points on the board, and then with the extra point, they're up 14-9 over these Indians, and now we're getting backed up probably from that penalty, maybe a celebration penalty or something after that touchdown.
I think so.
The J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff will be a little bit longer for our kicker for the Wildcats, as he'll be teeing it up there on his own 25-yard line, and we'll expect a big, huge, booming kick out of.
What a lot of high school teams like to do is to kick that diagonal kickoff, and they'll give you the 25 or the 30-yard line. They really can't do that here without giving Jacksonville terrific field position. So he does try to boom it, and he does get a nice kick all the way back to the 12-yard line, and here will be the return for Jacksonville. And the return out across the 25 to the 27-yard line or thereabouts.
And they gets wrapped up by a lot of Wildcat jerseys, and they're not going to make much out of that. They're going to be starting out about the 23-yard line for their 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. And the Wildcats are suddenly on fire. They're fired up here, and they want to get something going. And I think they maybe will get their wish.
Coaches and the press backs are certainly fired up right now. They're sitting next to us, and they're pounding the table. And
the Wildcat coaches are here in the booth next to us, and we can feel the vibrations all the way over here.
Reese Hicks on the return there, by the way, for Jacksonville.
Yep.
So here we go. Indians up to the line. First down from their own 27. Sulphur Springs leading 14-9. And we have now loose ball again. Another snap problem here for Jacksonville as Brady McCown has to chase it all the way back inside the 10-yard line. Mercy.
Yes, that was another miscommunication. We said that they've had plenty of those, and he let the ball get past him, and he had to sprint for it and get it back.
At the 10-yard line.
Yeah, covered it up.
And I do not know what has happened to cause this, because they weren't having these snap problems in the first half.
Right, yeah. So they're backed all the way up. It's going to be
That's a
second
loss.
down and about 28.
Play action. McCown passing deep.
Oh.
Nobody out there for Jacksonville.
A couple of Wildcats were out there and went over the head of one of the Wildcats that he got turned around. He almost got to it for an interception, but
line of scrimmage is the 11-yard line. I had that as a 13-yard loss or 12-yard loss.
okay.
And now an incomplete pass. So this is third down.
They've got the ball all the way back on the 10-yard line.
Yeah, it's at 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got to get out. Well, okay.
Yeah.
So this is now third down and
28.
28. Okay, right. So that was a bigger loss than I at first realized. Here's the snap to McCown, and he will now just keep it himself and go up the middle and picks up a few yards out to the 15-yard line or so, but that's all.
Number 2 resets the ball carrier.
Looks like he finally ended up handing off to number 2 there, ended up with the ball.
Oh, that would be Reese Hicks then.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
We've got an Indian back down in the backfield, which is going to be an injury timeout. We're going to take a break with them, and we'll be back with Wildcat football here in just a moment. Jacksonville Wildcat football. The Wildcats are up 14-9 over the Jacksonville Fighting Indians here at the Tomato Bowl. We've had just had an injury timeout. The big running back for the Jacksonville Indians looked like walking off the field under his own power, but limping, maybe with twisted ankles. So Indians coming back up here for first and 10.
Yeah, there have been, it's obviously a penalty walked off here against Sulphur Springs during the break, and it moves them up to the 30-yard line for a first down.
So, yeah, they're back up to where they kind of started. The 30-yard line instead of it was the 28.
They started, I wrote it down as the 23, but they started the possession at the 28. Then they had the bad snap or whatever it was that put them back at the 11 for a loss of 17, and then they had gained to the 15. But there was a personal foul penalty assessed against Sulphur Springs that put them back at the 30 and a first down. Now this is second down and 10, and up the middle they go with the ball to.
That's number 2.
Reese Hicks.
Yep.
Yes, Reese Hicks.
He gets right up the middle for a first down. It's going to be all the way up to the 43-yard line. It's first and 10 for the Indians.
Yep.
Hand it off again.
To Reese Hicks once again. And this time he is bottled up near the line of scrimmage and making the tackle for the Wildcats. It's Truth Holmes. What a great name.
Maybe 1 yard. It's going to be second and 9, and they're only going to give him 1 yard on that carry. And the Indians going back with that fast-paced offense are coming up to the line of scrimmage for the next play.
Brady McCown and his back almost ran into him there, but McCown gets it out, and this goes all the way to the goal line for a Jacksonville touchdown, and this is Jermaine Taylor, their big gun, who makes the catch in the flat over on the far side.
And outruns every Wildcat defender and gets straight through all the way in, taking it to the house, and he's going to put 6 more points on the board for the Indians, putting them 1 point ahead of the Wildcats right now, 15-14. It's going to be interesting to see if they kick the ball or go for 2 points to make it a 3-point ball game.
55-yard touchdown pass from Brady McCown to Jermaine Taylor.
They're going to kick it.
Jesus Nunez is the place kicker for the Indians. Low snap again. And the kick up, and he does get it through the uprights.
It's good, and so that's going to put the Indians up ahead of the Wildcats again, 16-14. It's a 2-point game here at the Tomato Bowl in Jacksonville. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with you with Wildcat football on KSST. And we're back here at the Tomato Bowl where the Indians have just put 7 more points on the board, going up over the Wildcats 16-14. We're at the beginning of the fourth quarter now. The J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff coming to you. The Wildcats will be receiving that because the Indians just scored, so it's going to be time for the Wildcats to put something together. It's kind of been back and forth here in this second half, all the way through that third quarter. We had a very uneventful first quarter, then had some good plays and some good scoring in the second quarter, and then the third quarter started off kind of rough for both teams, not getting anywhere on their first possessions, and then all of a sudden it was off to the races, and the Wildcats scored, and the Indians answered back, and they are going to be kicking off from their 40-yard line. The J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. The Wildcats back to receive that. We've got 3 receivers deep in Wildcat territory. 7, 17, and 6, the usual personnel back there to receive the kickoff. But they've been giving some of these short kicks, and they do another one. And,
Nunez again with the diagonal kick. Taken by Wyatt Watson for Sulphur Springs, which is
kind of a standard format there. That's kind of what we've been hearing. They do that short kick, and Wyatt comes up with it. So the Wildcats will start their drive here in their own territory on the Wildcat 27-yard line. So it'll be first and 10 for your Wildcats on their own 27. We'll see if we can get something moving here. Full fourth quarter awaits them, so they've got plenty of time to put some points on the board.
This is the first play of the fourth quarter. And on first down, they keep it on the ground.
Yeah,
between
good run.
The tackles.
Yeah, number 8 there for the Wildcats, going up the middle, and a little bit of second effort, getting about 5 or 6 yards, see where they spot it.
And that is D. Rose Luke.
And they spot him 5, and so it's going to be 2nd and 5 for your Wildcats.
He's seeing a lot of action here in the second half. That was a 72-yard 5-play drive for Jacksonville. The touchdown 55-yard pass from Brady McCown to Jermaine Taylor. Extra point good. 16-9 now. Jacksonville leading over the Sulphur Springs Wildcats. And here is Brady McCown on the loose, or Brady Driver, I should say,
yes,
for Sulphur Springs. And Driver all the way to the Jacksonville 30-yard line.
Yeah, so a keeper there with Brady Driver. We didn't mention that. Both quarterbacks with the first name of Brady, but Brady Driver, the most important Brady we know right now, Wildcat quarterback, takes it a long way there and gets all the way deep into Indian territory. They're going to mark that on the, looks like about the 30, 31
I've got it right on the 30.
Right on the 30. They've got it marked on the 30 for your Hooten's Hardware first down for your Sulphur Springs Wildcats.
That's 38 yards on the gain there by Brady Driver, the Wildcats quarterback. And here's the handoff. This is Cameron Jefferson off right tackle. Jefferson lowers his shoulder, spins, still on his feet, and out of bounds somewhere near the 20-yard line. And should have another first down for the Wildcats.
Flag on the play in the middle of the field. It should have been a flag on the play for the excessive tackling that I saw there as they got that Wildcat out of bounds and still continue to try to rough him up a little bit. But we'll see what the flag is. Okay.
Personal foul, face mask against Jacksonville.
Oh, well, that's going to be a big gain for the Wildcats. So
that will be half the distance to the goal.
Yes, because they'll tack that on to the end of the play, and he got inside the 20.
Puts it at the 10-yard line, and I believe that will be first and goal. The nose of the ball is right on the 10.
There you go. So your Wildcats now, another Hooten's Hardware first down for your Wildcats deep into Indian territory on the 10-yard line. It's going to be first and goal for your Wildcats.
38-yard gain moments ago by Brady Driver, and then a 12-yard gain by Cameron Jefferson. Then the face mask penalty against the Indians. And it is first and goal at the 10-yard line.
The Wildcats going to have to take a timeout. I think I know what this one is. I'll explain that here in just a moment. We're going to take a break with them, and then we'll be back here with Wildcat football in just a moment. And we're back with Wildcat football down here in Jacksonville, Texas at the Tomato Bowl, where the Wildcats 14, the Jacksonville Indians 16, but the Wildcats are marching down the field. And I think what happened there, John Mark, is one of the Wildcat players was hot, took his helmet off, and he didn't put his helmet back on like he was going to play, and I think he would need to come back out for a play.
I see.
And so the coaches were trying to explain that from the sidelines, and miscommunication, they just went ahead and called timeout. And so after a timeout, I guess he can go back in. I'm not sure, but
right. Or after a play,
or after one play, if you had to sit out one play. But I think that's what happened. I'm not sure, but anyway, either way, there was miscommunication. The Wildcats called a timeout, and so they have 2 left in this half. The Indians have all of their timeouts, and this is some exciting football here as the Wildcats are 1st and 10 on the first and goal, on the 10-yard line for this Hooten's Hardware first down.
It seems these two teams spark each other. One team comes up with a big play, and then the other one comes back with their own big play. Here's Cameron Jefferson, little draw play, and a short pickup there between the tackles he goes, and here goes another loose helmet.
Yeah, that was, and the Wildcat holding his hands out. That was number 54, had his helmet ripped off by a defender, and it went about 10 yards down the field, and he's holding his hands out looking for a flag, and the flags don't seem to be flying.
Let them play.
Yes, let them play. So.
That was Wildcat center Jeff Stevenson. He had to come out of the game, and now we have, in his place, Gage Williams. Snap to Driver. Driver into the end zone, incomplete, intended for, I believe, Sky Lewis again. Yeah, Sky Lewis very nearly making a spectacular one-handed catch on a ball thrown somewhat behind him. But you saw a flag down?
No, it should have been. It looked like the Indians jumped off sides, and then there was a little pass interference on that. So. By the defender, but still no flags. Looks like there's a flag way over there on the other side of the field. But that could have been that. I guess that particular line judge just nope, they're marking it off.
Yeah, they have walked off the penalty here against the Wildcat, or against the Indians, I should say.
Half the distance there. It's going to be 2nd down and 5 for your Wildcats, knocking on the door here of another touchdown.
Driver, the quarterback, 5 steps behind his center.
To keep it.
And Driver close to the goal line, pushing, touchdown. Brady Driver.
Brady Driver on the keeper, gets into the end zone, puts 6 points on the board for the Wildcats, as Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go Wildcats. And now it's a whole different ball game here, 20-16, and the Wildcats have an extra point attempt here. We'll see. It looks like they're going to kick a field goal.
Brady Driver, a very dangerous ball carrier for the Wildcats.
Brady Driver in. It looks like maybe they're going for 2.
He had 9 rushing touchdowns last season. That's his first, obviously, this season, but he has 2 touchdown passes to go with it earlier in the ball game. And Wildcats regained the lead at 20-16, and apparently they will go for 2 here.
We'll try to make it a 6-point ball game here. It's 4-point difference right now. 16-20. The Indians 16. Your Wildcats 20. They're going to go for 2. Try to make it 22-16.
Empty backfield. Driver takes the snap. Going to run it himself. Going to his right and is across the goal line for the 2-point conversion.
That's going to put 2 more points on the board for the Wildcats as they go up 22 over the Indians 16. 9:18 left in the ball game here at the Tomato Bowl down in Jacksonville. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff in just a moment. And we're back here at the Tomato Bowl in Jacksonville, where the Wildcats have just gone ahead of the Jacksonville Fighting Indians, 22-16. 9:18 left in the ball game. Still plenty of time left. A very spirited game here in the fourth quarter. It has been all in the second half, I would say. There's a lot of spirit, we'll call it. A lot of pushing and shoving. And
a little chippy, as they say.
A little chippy. The Wildcats have turned it into a benefit for them, though, as they it's a 6-point game now as the Wildcats are about to kick off the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff to the Indians.
73-yard drive in 5 plays for Sulphur Springs. Big play on that drive, 38-yard run by Brady Driver, and then he gets the 4-yard touchdown run.
Yeah.
Tremendous kick here for Sulphur Springs by Eric Rodriguez as he kicks it into the end zone.
It was all Brady all the time there at the end of that drive. He made it happen. But he got a lot of help from the Wildcats offense as well.
So Eric Rodriguez really showing off his leg there. You don't see that many touchbacks in high school football, but he got one that time. And
he kicked it off from the regular spot.
That's right.
Yeah, the regular spot. And so the
40-yard line.
Indians will get it on their own 25-yard line. They'll have 75 yards to go. 9:18 left in this ball game, and we'll see with this fast-paced offense that the Indians have been showing off, we'll see how they do.
Touchdowns on the last 3 possessions between these two teams. Brady McCown, hands off to D.D. Maris over the right side. Maris lowers his shoulder across the line of scrimmage up to the 28-yard line. Yep. He goes for a gain of 3 yards.
He's 2nd and 7 for the Indians, and they're back up. Coaches to our left in this booth getting very excited. It must be the defensive coaches closest to us can feel their momentum in here.
Indians moving from right to left. That's the south end zone at the Tomato Bowl. And head off to Maris again. They're trying to strip him of the ball. And now the ball does come out. And a loose ball. And still they're scrambling for it near midfield. Wildcats think they have it.
Well, let's see.
No indication from the officials yet. Jacksonville apparently got it back. One official at least says so.
Yeah, there's a Wildcat down. Quite a fight for that ball as he popped out, and one Wildcat fell on it, and then everybody came out, but we've got a Wildcat down. Probably was on the bottom of that pile scrambling for the ball.
D.D. Maris on the carry probably got to about the 35-yard line or so before the ball was stripped. And then they gain.
Oh, yeah, another 15 yards.
Yeah, 10 or 15 yards, something like that, out to the 50-yard line.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're in over here just across the midfield. They're going to put the ball about the Wildcat 48-yard line as one Wildcat player was slow to get up, but he's making his way over to the sideline. So
it's a 22-yard gain all told on that play.
Yeah, they're going to mark that ball right on the 50.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, I see officials sipping water out on the field, so we have a timeout for one reason or another here. I don't believe either team took the timeout. Did they? No.
Well, no, I don't know, but the officials looks like they're going to call them back over to the. Well, it was an injury timeout for the
that's
players
true.
Down. Yeah, so, but
that's right.
Kind of hurry him along and.
Sulphur Springs leading 22-16. 8 minutes and 34 seconds left to go in the ball game.
Yep. First and 10 for those Indians.
Here in Jacksonville, about 20 miles to the south of Tyler. Beautiful drive down here this afternoon. Brady McCown waiting on the snap. Has it. Tosses. This goes to Jaden Boyd, who was out of the game with an injury a short time ago, but he's back in. But the Wildcats trap him behind the line of scrimmage. And one of the Wildcats in on that tackle, Bo Loggins, who had 20 tackles and 2 interceptions last season.
There were several Wildcat defenders there that had his number, and they dialed it in to drop him for a loss of 2 back behind the line of scrimmage, and then they threw him a little further back, but they they marked it 2 yards loss.
2nd down and 12. McCown throwing downfield on the far side, incomplete at the Wildcat 40-yard line, intended once again for Jermaine Taylor, who had the 55-yard touchdown catch and run here a short time ago.
Yeah. So no gain, incomplete on that. It's still going to be third down and about 12 for the Indians. They're back on their own side of the field, about the 48-yard line, so they've got a ways to go.
Big play in this game with 7:54 to go, and Sulphur Springs leading 22-16.
Yeah, I think this is a make-or-break play right here on third down.
Another bad snap from McCown. He has to chase it down and then picks it up, throws downfield, and it is caught by Jermaine Taylor at the 25-yard line of Sulphur Springs.
A beautiful throw after a bad snap or bad miscommunication, and Brady McCowan launched that down the field. That you're going to give me the yardage on that in just a minute,
yeah.
John Mark. But and they're scurrying up to the line of scrimmage, keep this momentum going on their quick pace offense. It's 1st and 10 on the Wildcat 25.
28 yards on the game. And this is Reese. It is Reese Hicks. I want to call him Reese as his last name, but Reese Hicks on the carry up the middle there for Jacksonville, and another nice gain for the Indians as they are inside the Sulphur Springs 20-yard line down to the 18-yard line for a gain of 7 yards.
That pass by McCowan, it was a 28-yard gain, you said, or 23?
Well, I had it 28.
28, but he threw it 38 because he was so far back behind the line of scrimmage when he muffed that snap. So, and he kept his wits about him and got that going. Now there's having a discussion with the officials on the other side of the field. One Wildcat player was limping. But he's staying in the game. Some of the trainers started to go out, and then they decided not to, and so Wildcat players stayed in.
So I think we have a second down and about four. There's a lot of irregularity with the down marker.
Yes,
it seems
and now they're marking off another penalty.
So it'll be first down, a penalty against the Wildcats, which again we did not see a flag. But
now it's 1st and 5.
1st and 5 here.
Could have been maybe a delay of game on the Wildcats that they weren't ready.
1st and 5 from the 20-yard line for Jacksonville. Handoff, and that's Reese Hicks.
Close
off tackle to the right, and he gets down to about the 15-yard line for a gain of 5 yards or thereabouts.
Yep, they're going to mark him a little short of that first down. It'll be 2nd and short.
Yeah, it looks like 2nd and 2 for Jacksonville. Sulphur Springs 17-yard line. McCown handing off to the tailback. Straight ahead.
Doesn't really go anywhere. I'm not going to have to check his forward progress. They didn't see what they gave him. He's the official's standing right on the line, which would be the line for him to gain to get the first down.
Reese Hicks again for Jacksonville to the 15-yard line, and should be very close to a first down.
Wildcats up 22-16 with 6 minutes and 18 seconds and counting in the ball game. Lots of time being taken here to get this next play set up.
A lot of discussion among the officials.
Yeah, the play clock's not even running. They've stopped
the ball is just inside the 15-yard line. Now it shows the down marker shows third down.
No, they're going to come out. They're bringing the chains out to measure. It's so close.
You don't see many measurements these days.
No, you don't.
For some reason.
6:05 left in the ball game. That game clock now stopped as they measure to see, and it's going to look like it's going to be a little short.
About a half yard short of a first down, just inside the 15-yard line. Sulphur Springs leading 22-16. 4-yard touchdown run by Brady Driver just a short time ago. The last Wildcat possession gave them the lead.
Wildcats really need to turn on the heat here on the defense to keep these Indians from getting in the end zone. If they could hold them even to a field goal, it'd be a big advantage for your Wildcats. 22-16, a 6-point difference.
So this is third and less than one.
Oh, and now there's a false start on the offense of the Indians. There's going to be some flags. That's going to back them up. And so that third and very short is going to become third and kind of long.
Third and about a 5.
Yeah.
So makeable, certainly, but that's not nearly, we'll call it 3rd and 6 because it was 3rd and 1.
And I'll say it again, it's just another miscommunication on the Indians.
Yeah.
They've just had a real tough time communicating. And so now they've got same play, real tight formation, going to run it right up the middle, but it's 3rd and 5.
It's a direct snap to Jaden Boyd, the big 245-pound back, and he's just powering over the right side for the Indians.
And makes the first down.
And is close to that first down anyway at the 10-yard line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's got it.
Yep. Yeah, they had to get right to the 15.
That's pure power football there.
Yes.
Yardage is good for the Fighting Indians.
Jaden Boyd, 6 foot, 245 pounds. And he has a first down at the Wildcat 10-yard line. This drive started at the Jacksonville 25-yard line. This now will be the 10th play of the drive.
Looks like they're going to go with the same play. Is that him in again?
Now this is Reese Hicks taking a direct snap. And again, we have this huge scrum. Now there's a loose ball into the end zone. As Hicks was close to the goal line on the run, the ball bouncing into the end zone. I think that's a live ball.
Yeah, it sure looked like it.
More Wildcats than Indians around the ball. Wildcats seem to think they have the ball.
Yeah.
If so, it'll be a touchback.
Wildcats
And they will preserve their lead. They're getting excited, running off the field. Still no call from the officials. Yes, it's a touchback.
Yeah.
Sulphur Springs ball at the 20-yard line.
Wow. A great turn of events for the Wildcat defense as they get the Indians to cough up the ball. And one of those, well, you called it a rugby scrum earlier, that they were just trying to power toward the end zone. And the ball came out. The Wildcat fell on it. It was in the end zone. So now it comes out to the 20, and the Wildcats get it 1st and 10 with 5:15 left in the ball game. So this is turning out to be quite an exciting game. The Wildcats up 22-16. That kept the Indians off the scoreboard for this drive and turns the ball over.
Be interesting to see on the video who actually comes up with the fumble recovery there. There were 3 or 4 Wildcats had a shot at it, and somebody got it near the back of the end zone. Now that drive there for Jacksonville goes 60 yards in 9 plays, but the fumble at the end of it into the end zone from about the 2-yard line.
Right, so I expect the Wildcats keep the ball on the ground, take some time off the clock, and 5:15 left in the ball game. We're ahead, but only by 6 points. It's still anybody's ball game. The Wildcats are going to have to perform some very good clock management as they hand off and get a few yards on the ground.
D. Rose Luke, again, getting the call for the Wildcats off right tackle.
And Wildcat losing his helmet. He'll come out for a play. Number 14 going in for the offense on the Wildcat side.
That's Chris Adams going in.
Also 22.
Yeah, that is
our running back.
Cameron Jefferson coming into the ballgame.
He's been he's had a fantastic second quarter here.
Second half.
I mean, yeah, because he didn't get much action in the first half, and he gets the ball. Nope, Brady Driver keeps it.
Power football here for Sulphur Springs as Brady Driver basically acting as if he was a single-wing tailback, just takes the snap and puts it under his arm and goes off right tackle behind the blocking of his line. And he also had an H-back in there on the right side, Grayson Reams, and he's up to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, so a great gain by Brady Driver, a first
15.
down. 15-yard gain. Thank you, John Marco. A Hooten's Hardware first down for your Wildcats as the clock not moving, 4:29. They moved the change. It was a running play, but the clock is still stopped.
Snap to Driver. And this is Cameron Jefferson, who takes the handoff, goes between the tackles, lowers his shoulder, and gets out to the 40-yard line for a gain of about 3 yards.
Yep, clock's rolling now, 4:14 and counting. We've got a Indian down, so they're going to stop the clock at 4:07.
By the way, Jacksonville has 3 timeouts. Look, this is definitely a cramp.
Yep.
I know that. I know that posture.
You know how that looks.
I know how that feels.
They stopped the clock at 4:01. Actually, the Wildcats up 22-16. So they just.
This game has not exactly been a thing of beauty, has it, Chad? But
No,
it certainly has had its moments.
But for either team, for offense, defense on either team, it's there's been some miscommunication, but it's working out for the Wildcats in this second half. And Brady Driver has had a fantastic game. Can't wait to see the stats when we get all those added up.
Yeah.
Because he may have just as many running yards as some of his running backs.
I think probably more.
Yeah.
I think he'll be the leading rusher.
Yeah, and he's made some great passes and just had a real good game. Hasn't given up.
He has 2 touchdown passes and a touchdown rushing. Does the Sulphur Springs junior quarterback. Senior quarterback. That's the second time I've done that tonight.
Right.
We'd like to have him back for another year.
His parents are going to be so disappointed that no, they understand. We know Brady Driver's a great player as a senior this year. Will probably move on and do great things with his talent. As the Wildcats come up, they've reset the clock. 4:12 now. It's counting down, and the Wildcats 2nd and 5.
Jeff Stevenson, net center, out over the football for Sulphur Springs. Driver handing off, and Cameron Jefferson.
There we go.
On the carry there for Sulphur Springs, up to about the 46-yard line for a gain of 5 or 6 yards. And do we have a flag down on this?
There's a flag on the play. I'm not sure who it's against. There was a little. We'll call it a kerfuffle, I think. Yeah.
Contretemps.
Yeah, we had a little kerfuffle going there between 2 players, and we'll see who won, which one got caught with the flag.
Do you see the flag?
Yeah, they've already picked it up.
Okay, fine.
I saw it fly out there. They threw it overhanded. They were real serious about it.
Yeah, that tells you something.
Yeah.
Either that or when they throw it very high in the air.
Yeah, right.
It's very decisive. There's a personal foul.
Oh, it's right there at his feet. He just picked it up.
I see. It was on the yellow part of the insignia.
Of course. Not only do we have all the yellow caps, we have a lot of yellow logo in the middle of the field. And so it's against the Indians. It's going to be a big one, 15 yards. That's going to move them all the way down. The Wildcats are going to have their next Hooten's Hardware first down on the Indian 39-yard line. 1st and 10. Your Wildcats, 3:54 left in the ball game. They're up 22-16 over those fighting Indians.
Again, keep in mind, Jacksonville has all 3 timeouts here, and they may start to employ them at some point on this drive if Sulphur Springs continues to move the football. Brady Driver in the shotgun. There's a low snap, and Driver will have to fall on it back near midfield.
Well, that's something we've seen on both sides of the ball this game, and he lost about 10 yards on that when he missed it and had to go dive on it. But kept his wits about him. He's a very calm quarterback, the Brady Driver, and fell on the ball and kept it. Lost about 8 yards, I think, on that is what they're going to call it.
Right.
And it's going to be 2nd and 18. The clock ticking down. 3:06, 3:04 left in the ball game.
D. Rose Luke back in the ball game at running back, and they fake to him. Driver keeps it, breaks a tackle in the backfield. Driver down the sideline, still on his feet inside the 25, down to about the 22-yard line for another first down for Sulphur Springs.
And another flag on the play. I think that's going to be a horse collar tackle. The Brady Driver got yanked down on the sideline there, and another wonderful run all the way. He needed 18 and got more to get that first down. Broke a couple of tackles and then got taken down right at the sideline, and I think they're going to call that a horse collar tackle, and that's going to be a big penalty again.
26-yard gain by Brady Driver on the play.
And they're kind of marking, the one official over there marking where where it happened. I may have missed the the call over there on the far side. I was watching this one about the mark off the yardage. Okay, the
personal foul. Yeah, horse collar. Good call, Chad.
Yes, they saw my flag from here. So that's going to move it 15 more.
Well, half the distance anyway. Yeah, to the 10.
Oh, I'm sorry. They were inside the 20. Thank you. So they're going to move it to the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
It's going to be, you know what? They're going to move it to the 10 and a little yard line.
Yeah,
it's not on the 10.
Just shy of the 10.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 on the 10 and a little yard line. So it's not 1st and goal, but it might as well be, because if they get a first down, they're going to get a touchdown. It's that close.
1st down and 10 for the Wildcats.
Well, there was movement on the defense, and so the center for the Wildcats snapped the ball to try to catch them off sides. Brady Driver wasn't ready for the snap, but we'll see what happens. And there's a Indian down on the ground also. I think the heat has really taken a toll on these players. You were talking about the cramps earlier, and number 70, I'm not going to call this number on the Indian because I'm going to get it wrong, but one of the defensive players on the Indian side there is, I think he's.
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah.
Sure. One of their trainers is out having a look at him, and again, it is the first thing you think of is the cramps in this kind of heat and humidity. And
yeah, because the play didn't even start to run there, and he's already getting up. He's going to make his way to the sidelines. We're going to be back playing football here pretty quick.
The Cameron Devereaux.
72 for the Indians.
Well, the jerseys tend to ride up now,
they do.
So it's hard to tell. Sometimes you can only see the top half, and that looks like 72. He's walking off on his own power, though. So.
2:48 left in the ball game. The Wildcats up 22-16. Got a fresh set of downs all the way down on the 10-yard line, and so they can make something happen here. I'm not sure if there was a penalty, if anything was called, if somebody called a timeout.
Nothing has. It's still first down and 10 at the just outside the 10-yard line.
The only thing else that could have happened is that we snapped the ball and they hadn't actually whistled for the play to start, because it's first down.
Yeah,
and the ball's in the same place.
Right. So I was not going to say anything about that, but but you're right.
But they whistled that play dead, and the ball got snapped at some point. But anyway,
we'll go with it.
1st and 10. Your Wildcats. The Hootens Hardware first down.
Empty backfield for Brady Driver. Takes the snap and looking to run it. Cuts it back. Going to his right. Now there's a flag down.
Oh.
And there's a punch thrown, a literal punch thrown by a Jacksonville player against a Sulphur Springs player. Now, Driver picked up about 2 or 3 yards on the play to about the 8-yard line.
So that, there's a lot of laundry on the field right now. I saw that one get thrown in overhanded all the way from the sideline into the middle of the field. And players still arguing with each other. One was on the ground, and the Indian player reached up and hit the Wildcat in the face mask, and then more flags came flying. So we'll see how it all sorts out here.
I would think that would be pretty painful.
It would be, but
you don't want to slug a guy who's wearing a football helmet.
Right. You're not sure how many penalties and how many steps the official is going to get him. Maybe walking it one way and back again.
Well, rarely do you see what I would imagine to be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty quite as blatant as that one.
Yes, and I'm going to say that penalty was probably more than a kerfuffle.
Now,
earlier, that was.
Now you don't know what precipitated it.
No, I don't. I didn't see that, but I did see that flag. It was a beautiful arch from the sideline all the way over. Yeah, and it's really got the officials talking down there. So.
Well, we are now over 3 hours into this game here tonight. This has been a long and involved and sometimes confusing.
I'm going to say an hour of it was officials.
Conferences, yes.
The conferences, and they were contemplating their decision. So, had nothing against them. They've got a hard job to do. It's just as hot for them as is everybody else. And it's the first game of the regular season, so got to get back together. He's coming over to explain to Coach Faircloth, excuse me. So he'll get the penalty in on that and see what the result is that it's going to be. So maybe has the option, Faircloth has the option of declining that and giving his answer to the official. He's walking to the other side of the field. Still one flag on the
personal foul.
Yeah.
Ooh. There's an indication against Sulphur Springs.
Yeah.
And no indication against Jefferson. No personal. Yeah.
Another personal foul.
Conduct against Jefferson.
All right. And then something else. Jefferson.
There was definitely a personal foul indicated against Sulphur Springs, but then he gave an indication that I was not familiar with, a signal that, and I'm pretty familiar with most of the signals.
Right.
But apparently it's offsetting penalties is the point.
Here we are, the very same place, first down,
right.
10 yards.
Now wipe out the little short gain there by Brady Driver.
Yeah. Oh, no, they're going to.
A few moments ago.
They're going to give him another yard. They're taking the sticks away. Now it's first and goal on the little less than a 10-yard line.
So Driver again kind of taking this thing into his own hands as he takes the snap and goes off the right side down to the 5-yard line or very close. Now they say the 6. They put it down at the 6.
Brady Driver cutting out the middleman, taking it up the middle himself, and just saving a little time what it takes for a handoff because he's very quick. Brady Driver's very quick, and he gets a couple yards on that. Clock
is down to 2 minutes now in the ball game, and is continuing to roll. Wildcats content to let it run right now, leading 22-16 over Jacksonville and at the Jacksonville 6-yard line.
Jacksonville with all their timeouts, but not using them yet.
This is second down. Driver between the tackles, using his blockers, and gets down to about the 3, depending on the spot. Now,
here comes a timeout.
One of the Indians came out of there with a football. That's Michael Miles, but obviously it was after the play had been blown dead.
Yep. Wildcats going to take a timeout, looks like, and so we're going to take one with them. We'll take a break and be right back here at the Tomato Bowl with Wildcat football. And we're back in Jacksonville at the Tomato Bowl for Wildcat football. The Wildcats are up 22-16 over the Jacksonville Indians. 1:33 left in the ball game. Brady Driver having a fantastic second half, putting a lot of points on the board for the Wildcats, and he's about down there knocking on the door again. John Mark looks about on the 3-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 3 for Brady Driver. He's kept it the past 2 plays, and he may keep it again, trying to get it into the end zone.
This drive started at the Sulphur Springs 20-yard line, and remember, it started when the Wildcats recovered a fumble in the end zone, as Jacksonville appeared to be driving for what would have been the go-ahead touchdown, but there was a fumble into the end zone, and the Wildcats recovered almost on the end line, got the ball back at the 20, and now this is the 9th play of the drive. They're at the Jacksonville 3-yard line with 1:39 left to go, and Sulphur Springs leading 22-16. Driver with the snap, straight ahead. Driver lowers his shoulder, close to the goal line, touchdown.
And Brady Driver put 6 more points on the board for the Wildcats as Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go Wildcats. That's going to extend that lead to 28-16 with the extra point attempt coming. And so great job by Brady Driver. He's really taken this second half into his own hands, literally, and put 2 touchdowns on the board. John Mark?
Well, that drive in particular, he really did it all there, and he had some gains by D. Rose Luke and also Cameron Jefferson, but almost all Brady Driver. And here's the extra point attempt here for the Wildcats by Eric Rodriguez, and it is good.
So that's going to make it 29-16. Those Wildcats doing a great job. Only a minute 33 left in the ball game. It seems like they've got it all wrapped up. I'm going to go with that.
Well, it's looking good. It's looking good.
We're going to take one quick break as we get ready for that J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. We'll be back with Wildcat football in just a moment. And we're back in Jacksonville, Wildcat football. The Wildcats are up 29-16 with only a minute 33 left. They just put 7 more points on the board with a Brady Driver 3-yard run into the end zone on the quarterback keeper. So he's had a great game tonight. Minute 33 is all the Indians are going to have, and they've got an uphill battle with 13 points to go. The difference. So it looks like it's going to be able for the Wildcats to just put it to bed right here with Eric Rodriguez about to kick it off. He's had some great kicks with no wind. We have to.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, great point. Yeah, that's hard to see the flags. They really need to have some lights on those flags, don't they, for a night game? But
right.
You can just barely see them, but they're just hanging limp.
Yeah, it's still 88 degrees here at 10:42 in Jacksonville.
Here's the diagonal kick, however, by Rodriguez, taken at the 31-yard line. As D.D. Maris takes it on the run, and he returns it to about the 39-yard line for Jacksonville. So the Indians have 2 timeouts remaining.
Yes, they took that timeout. You were right. I
took a timeout just before the Sulphur Springs touchdown.
The official calling that timeout was over on the Sulphur Springs side. I thought it was Sulphur Springs taking a timeout, which was odd. But it was the Indians. They have 2 left, and the Wildcats have 2 timeouts left. They won't need them. It's kind of all but over for the Indians. They're going to try to make a good showing here, kind of make a go of it.
Would you say right now, I would say Sulphur Springs fans outnumber Jacksonville stands in the stadium right now?
Absolutely. They've all gone home. They've got a shorter trip to get back to the air conditioning over there. So
here's another low snap. Batted around, and it is picked up here by Reese Hicks, who comes to the near side and is bumped out of bounds near the 45-yard line, and averting disaster once again there for Jacksonville. So he ends up gaining about 5 yards to the 44. Gets out of bounds, so that stops the clock, and that's also to their advantage.
1:23 left on the game clock.
They've had so many problems with the snaps here in the second half. I don't know why they didn't have problems in the first half. Here's a tunnel screen attempted to Jermaine Taylor.
And just in and out of his hands.
Incomplete from Brady McCown. So 3rd down and 5 at the 44-yard line. A minute 18 left to go in the ball game, and the Wildcats leading 29-16.
They're not getting anywhere fast, and they need a miracle at this point.
That last drive, by the way, by Sulphur Springs, 80 yards in 9 plays. And
wow.
A 3-yard touchdown run by Brady Driver, his second rushing touchdown of the night. He has 2 touchdown passes, and both of those to Sky Lewis, and one of those a spectacular catch by Sky Lewis in the back corner of the end zone. 3rd down and 5, 44-yard line, and the handoff here up the middle, and it goes to Reese Hicks, and Hicks should have the first down across the 50 to the Sulphur Springs 49-yard line.
Yep, they're going to move the chains on that one, and the clock still should be going. They're going to stop the clock to move the chains, I guess. Minute 13 left in the ball game to snap the ball.
Wildcats with a 2-score lead, 29-16. Here's a pass intercepted for Sulphur Springs.
And he lays down, and with a minute 3 left on the clock, the Wildcats take over possession of the ball, and this is going to be the ball game, folks. Your Wildcats will prove victorious over the Jacksonville Indians 29-16 as they can now run the clock out with a minute 3 left, and a great interception.
That is Braxton Wall, the senior linebacker for Sulphur Springs, who comes up with the pick at the 29-yard line to close it out for the Wildcats.
Yes, that's going to put I'm not even sure that the Indians have 11 men on the field to come out to defend this. They just know that Brady Driver's going to kneel down, let the clock run down, and then do it again, and that's...
Jacksonville still has a couple of timeouts if they want to use them, but it seems unlikely.
Yeah, it seems like they're not going to do that, so...
Driver goes to a knee on the first snap and puts the ball back to the 25-yard line for a loss of 4, which of course is meaningless here. 44 seconds and the clock is rolling, and so the Wildcats will be 1-0, and next week they go to Mount Pleasant.
That's right.
To play the Tigers, the black and gold Mount Pleasant Tigers, and that's a very nice facility there. So we look forward to that. Once again, Driver taking a knee, and that should do it. Down to 23 seconds, and they won't have to snap it again. That's going to do it, as the Wildcats had a tough time for most of the game here with the Jacksonville Indians, but they got it going late in the ball game, and they're going to come away from Deep East Texas here with a 29-16 win over the Jacksonville Indians. So we'll see what, if anything, transpires here in the handshake line.
Oh, no, let's not be negative, John Mark. It's good sportsmanship here. They've actually
everybody on their best behavior.
They've had a very spirited game, and it's just the heat, of course, gets to everybody. But the Wildcats come out on top, 29-16 over the Jacksonville Fighting Indians here at the Tomato Bowl down in Jacksonville. So glad I got that Tomato Bowl thing right. You told me that early on.
Right.
Yes, great game, and we thank you for joining us for this game. I'm Chad Young with your color commentary. Of course, John Mark Dempsey on play-by-play, Matt Jansen on the camera, and our buddy James Terry back in the studio making it all happen. So we appreciate your attendance here at this game, and we hope to see you and have you in attendance at the next game next Friday night. Mount Pleasant, 7:30.
And the first home game will be September 8th versus Hallsville.
Thanks. It's going to do it for us. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you here next time. Wildcat football here on KSST. Thank you, James.